One day, late at night, tragedy struck. A little boy was running for all his strength through a dense forest, but it wasn't that simple. The boy was very scared, and he was crying. He kept repeating to himself that he had to go. He must get to the place today. Without looking under his feet, he started to run, and in a moment he didn't notice the stone and immediately fell to the ground. Looking through the pain and agony, he cried out to his mother. The boy thought for a few minutes and, rising to his feet, said to himself that he couldn't just fall here. And immediately he started to run on. As he walked through the woods, he felt his throat dry and thirsty. But he was still worried about his leg, for it felt like it was being torn apart. He said the pain was monstrous. He asked his mother how he should go on. Through the agony, he crawled on the ground and tried to reach the village. He saw the lights of the village and repeated to himself that just a little more. He can't give up. He could die here. It's time for him to go to the other world, then only there. For him, this was the only way to tell his elders what injustice they were facing. It was as if the boy couldn't take the agony, and in a haze he saw the boys coming toward him. He said he had to come to his senses. The boy gained strength and was able to say that he must see his elder. He must meet him. The boy shouted through his tears to the older man that it wasn't fair. Damn unfair. And then it occurred to him to tell his elder to calm his sorrow. He could not go on living like this. The next morning the men were sitting and resting by the river. The man asked his son why he was so downcast. The boy said he was asking his father for forgiveness. The father poured him some wine and told him he was a big jerk. The boy replied that he was sorry. He didn't know what that broad was. His father asked him, "Who worries about some broad anyway?" He wants to tell his son that bowing your head in a situation like this is just disgraceful for a young lad. And then the guys from the other table told the heir that he was not a fool and had learned a lot. And the junior leader should not be discouraged by such trifles. Apparently their junior leader needs a little more training. But then someone took the liberty of calling them all assholes. People didn't realize where the voice was coming from at first. Then a guy appeared in front of them and told them to give his sister back her life. The heir, upon hearing this, replied that they are so relaxed that they can't catch one small rat. The guy at the desk said that the subordinate said that this guy died falling off a cliff. And taking up his sword said he'd fix it. The heir stopped the subordinate and said, "It looks like that kid brought a guest with him." Just then, a man dressed in black appeared on the horizon. He slowly approached them. The man put his hand on the lad's shoulder and asked him why he was hesitating. It was time to walk forward confidently. As they walked up the stairs, everyone looked at them. People asked Kana, "Who is he?" "There is a powerful energy coming from him." The heir stood up and said his name was Manhwa. "He is the leader of the 10,000 Fist clan." The man asked the boy, "Was it him?" The boy did not hesitate to point his finger and said it was the guy. The boy saw the guy's hand and recognized him immediately. He was so angry with him that he was ready to kill him in front of everyone. Pan said he could find out who he was, "Sir?" The man said he was from the Kang Dynasty Criminal Police Department, and a case came to his attention, so he started investigating. He was very much looking forward to their cooperation. Pan thought, where did the Criminal Police Department come from? Is the chief and a detective? He thought the man was a bigger shot. Pan replied that there seems to be a conflict between a member of his family and that child's family. It was nothing serious, so let Kang ignore it. After all, he has already reported everything to the county head, so go. Kang asked the heir, "Does that mean he reported to the county chief?" This is news to him, of course. Pan replied that there was no need to make a fuss over nonsense. His table is set. Let Kang have a drink and leave. Kang replied that it was up to him to decide whether what happened was nothing or not, so that guy would have to go with them. Kang demurred and replied to him that he clearly said that the head of the county already knew about everything. Did Kang forget the rules about the crown and Murim being indestructible and dare another stranger interfere? Kang started smiling and said that it was just fine for him. He truly loves this kind of thing. All the people at that moment were all surprised and thought that this guy didn't have everything at home. Kang asked the guy, wasn't he happy? Kang smiled at the guy and said, "Those types are ignoring the state law now. Then they should do the same." Kang asked Pan that breaking it could be taken as obstruction of duty. Pan told the man that since he was a member of the police force, he was going to turn a blind eye, but as it turns out, he's a psycho. Does some detective from the criminal police department think he can share a conversation with him in ordinary times? Kang replied that that was correct. In normal times, he wouldn't even have encountered a rabble like him. When people heard these words, they got angry and said that this guy has a cheeky face. This sucker has lost his fear. Kang waved his hand and said that he was ready to show mercy one last time. Let them all kneel before him. Everyone started laughing out loud. The clerk said that Uncle's head was blown off. And then he went out to fight him. The attendant came at him with swords and told him to die. After all, he is the guardian of the Pan Air. Khan said he's going out without it. Since they not only interfered with his work, but also openly decided to harm him, they would have to grant summary judgment. The attendant insulted Kang and told him to die. Kang just waved his hand twice and immediately lifted the guy into the air, effortlessly. Everyone was shocked at this fate of the lad. After all, Khan grabbed him and with his body broke the board. Everyone's been asking what's going on with this guy. It's like he's drying up to the bone. Pan tried to save the guy, but the force was so high that he was thrown aside and burned his hand. Kang didn't play with them, for they were disrespectful to him and then to the guy. He immediately took a couple steps and approached them. Pan asked his men, why are they standing up? Let them all gather together in friendship and destroy this guy. Khan didn't move at all, and saw the crowd with guns heading towards him. Kang immediately used his wind magic again, and scattered them in different directions. Kang asked Pan that he still wouldn't betray the guy to him. Pan asked where such a person came from. Kang said nothing, and put his finger to his mouth. He said he would give Pan the choice. Would he give the kid up? And how would he fight? Pan said he doesn't know who he is, but his jokes are out of line. Kang replied that he feels like he ordered him to pick. Pan reached for his sword through reluctance, even he realized he couldn't win. Kang smiled and said that it was already interesting. How can a man who treats his own son with such care target innocent people, and about their jokes? They don't think he can make jokes about them in return, do they? Pan realized that there was no way he could handle him. What should he do? But then the troops ran up behind them. Pan shouted to the head of the county and told him to come to them quickly. Some detective had invaded them and set up the place. The head of the county bowed and said that his name was Sam Yip and greeted the elder. If they sent one man here, he would meet him. And asked the elder for a petition. Kang told Pan that he could put his weapon away. Too bad though, it would have been much better if he had twirled his sword once. Kang told the boy it was sad. He could have shown such a grand spectacle. The boy asked what would happen to those people. Kang said they'd go to jail. The boy said that wouldn't work. They know a lot of influential people. Kang told the boy not to worry. The murder of his older sister is even punishable by death by law, and the heads of criminals are sure to fly off their shoulders at the guillotine. Looking at this child, he now realizes what kind of place he is running the county. Sam told the elder that he begs his magnanimous pardon. He would investigate thoroughly so that no competent unrighteousness remained. Kang asked, what had he done before? But this time, he will test him. Even though he is constantly betrayed by the weak, there are still occasions when he is thanked. But then a guy came running in and told the supervisor that he had received emergency news from his home. Kang took this letter and immediately opened it in front of everyone. He read it carefully, and for a moment he froze with anger. Khan ordered the guy to find everyone connected to the case and put every last one of them to the law. Kang told the boy that he had some urgent business to attend to, so he had to go. Don't let him worry. He'll take care of it. The boy bowed and said that he too thanked the elder. Raising his eyes, the boy saw nothing, and the elder vanished. The boy shouted to the older man that he would definitely repay him for such a favor. Kang didn't put it off and went straight home. When he entered the room, he turned to his teacher. Kang went to the teacher's bedroom and asked how he was. The teacher did not answer him for a long time. When he opened his eyes, he saw Kang Jun and said that he was very worried because he didn't understand how the world works at all and showed everyone his teeth. The teacher told Connie to be careful and to be wary of those with swords. He needs to be able to recognize those types. Let him memorize the teacher's words. Kang told the teacher not to talk too much. He called the best doctor to the teacher. The teacher replied that this way is very simple. It is likely that the one who lacks money is a good person, And a swordsman who absolutely doesn't care about money has a higher probability of being bad. Let Khan think about it. He had ever seen mighty men starve to death, hadn't he? Has he ever seen strong men fail to do what they want to do? And the logic of this world paves an unobstructed path before the strong. But even the strong warriors who lack money live justly, and those who are not strong at all, but are fond of money, only steal property from those weaker than themselves. Is he not right about that? Kang said that the teacher says all the right things, but he asks him to keep calm. The teacher asked Kang if he was a great teacher. Despite saying that the human mind is inscrutable, he tells him how easily it can be understood. Kang replied that the teacher was right about everything. Let him just not leave him. He should live a long life and see his disciple married. The teacher took his hand away and asked Kang, is he serious now? Kang was surprised and asked the teacher, is he okay? Kanna's teacher asked Kanna, shouting what he had just thought. The fact that he was going to the other world soon? Kang asked, wasn't that what he was just telling him? The teacher got angry and said that Kang was a shameless face. He's still in the prime of his life. And he's getting ready to order a coffin for him? Kang said he gave such a stooge when he was told the teacher was lying in a sickbed. The teacher heard Khan swear and told him to filter his vocabulary. Young man. Kang replied that he was shocked when the old man, who had never done anything like that, suddenly out of the blue, bore a serious face and began to weave his tongue that he was worried. Hasn't the teacher heard the phrase, if a person changes, it's time for him to die? What about the hands? Why are the teacher's hands shaking? The teacher was surprised and called his student an asshole. He worked his bones to the bone trying to raise him, and instead of a luxurious life, he rushes to order a ticket to the next world. Kang told the teacher he asked why his hands were shaking. The teacher said he hadn't slept for a few nights and apparently from clutching the domino bones hard, he started shaking. Khan replies to the teacher that first there were cards and now dominoes. He can see that the teacher does nothing but work. And anyway, who's been working his ass off? He grew up on his own. Kang told the teacher that he didn't think his student would know that he was receiving money from his father every month. There were rumors that the teacher received as much as 4 liang a month. Didn't the teacher know that on that amount of money, one family could live for several months? The teacher tried to explain himself to Khan. Lee ducked his head and asked the teacher if he should tell his father directly that he was just a charlatan. The teacher inclined his head to the boy's hands. Kang said that according to the teacher's words, he is a very bad person because he is not strong, yet he has money in abundance. The teacher said that he had done wrong. Kang said there's enough money, right? If he really has a great interest in gaming, then let him do it during the day. And don't stay awake at night. Let him think about his age. The teacher said he was a sucker and apologized to him. Kang replied that he had to leave on business. He would be back in a few days, and in the meantime, let him try not to do anything stupid. Let it not go out. Rest inside. And if anything happens, make sure he reports to the chief official. As he walked away, Kang stopped for a few seconds and wondered why his legs were shaking. And then he remembered everything he had said to the teacher earlier. He said his legs and trembled if he broke his promise to each other would be sad. And from what is sad, this can happen. At his age, you have to be very careful. Master, he can't leave yet. The teacher looked at his student and saw that he was getting fiercer and fiercer every day. Even though he's holding up well, but that's not enough. He must still be near him. At least. He wants to see him get married and see his baby born. But Kang Jin is a badass, so he's going to have a child just like him. Just like Kang Jin was when he was a kid. At this time a man was walking through the woods saying he took a wrong turn and now he had to hump his way down. And why is the road leading down so terrible? The man did not look under his feet, and stepping on a dry tree, he immediately rolled down like a cola bock. The man was saved by a tree that stood in the middle. He opened his eyes and tried to get up, but the pain made him clutch his stomach and he couldn't get up. The man said old age is no fun. And all he did was roll down the mountain. He realized that he would now have to lie motionless for hours. And he hoped that there were no predators here, but in a moment he saw someone running. Turning to the side he saw a bunny being killed in front of his eyes. The man hoped it wasn't a tiger. That's the state he's in now. It was the boy who killed the rabbit and came to get it. The man saw the boy raise his knife and immediately stabbed the bunny. He was surprised to see this with his own eyes. The man thought the boy was crazy. He wasn't even going to eat it. Then why kill an innocent animal? The boy heard some sounds and put his knife in its holster. He turned around and saw a man lying motionless. The man immediately looked at the boy and shouted that his lower back was jammed. He smiled and asked the boy what he was doing here. The boy asked the man if he was an old man. The man replied that he was lying down to rest for a while. The boy saw the man behaving strangely and asked if he was lying here with a knife in his hands. The man did not expect the boy to notice it. The man pretended not to understand him and asked the boy what kind of knife he was talking about. After all, he just had a backache. The boy asked the man who he was. The man said he was just a simple collector of medicinal mountain herbs. The boy thought and asked why he didn't have a manjunga. The man smiled and replied that he must have lost it somewhere in the mountains, for he had slipped once. That's it, the boy said and smiled. The man asked him what he meant by that. The boy said that these mountains belong to his family. Their family owns this forest, so he knows well all the people who come to look for herbs. The man asked the boy what he was implying. The boy replied that he was not really an herb gatherer, but a man running away from someone else. The man started to deny everything and said that it was not true. The boy replied that if the man was a resident of these places, he should know that the mountains belong to his family, and his manner of speech makes it clear enough, an outsider. And if he's not from the outlands, why isn't he dressed like a herbalist? The man said he just happened to wander into the wrong place. The boy sighed and said that a moment ago the man had claimed otherwise. Rumor has it that some sort of gang formed a month ago, so his family decided to send an imperial military force for 7 days. He's not one of them, is he? The man freaked out and said he wasn't. He had no idea about the whole thing. He is quite an ordinary man, not evading the law, and living a mediocre life. The boy sighed and said that was not the point. The man became curious and asked what then. The boy said he was only concerned about 2 things. The first was that he was a fugitive hiding from others in the mountains. The man smiled and asked what was the second one. The boy asked what was the purpose of his visit here. The boy thought, what should he do this time? The man also thought, is this guy really that cruel? The man got to his feet and thought he doubted his conclusions. The boy stared at him intently and did not even take his eyes off to the side. The man saw the kid hesitate a little. He's just a kid, after all. He needs to start moving soon, before trouble comes first. The boy pulled out his knife and said he knew it. That this man was a mountain bandit. The man thought he was just a kid standing in front of him, but with a huge knife in his hands. The boy realized that he was physically vastly inferior to him, so he needed to attack first to win. The man used his powers and used the air to knock the knife out of his hands and grabbed at his clothes. The man threw him to the ground and asked him, is he crazy? Does he know what he's doing? The boy was yelling at the man to let him go. Even if he kills him, he won't get off that easy. The man told the boy that if he sees someone in trouble, shouldn't he try to help them? Why go straight to the knife? The boy said safety always comes first. The man said the boy had his doubts. He realized he couldn't win. The boy asked the man if he meant he was offering him to die by some mountain bandit. The man told him to calm down. He's never been one and he's not going to. The boy said, then why is the man trying to kill him? The man said the boy's behavior was very suspicious. Was he supposed to stand there and watch until the very end? The boy said that even if the man wasn't a bandit, he still saw everything. The man asked what did he see? The boy said through force that he knew the man was in the form. The man asked him what he was talking about. What did he see? The boy said how he caught a rabbit. Probably thought of him as crazy. The man said the guy was talking about the moment he saw him try to dine him. He really is a crazy kid. The boy said he didn't skin him to mock him. The man said it made sense if he was going to eat him. He wouldn't eat it with the skin on, would he? The boy heard these words and asked the man, did he really think so? The man asked the boy, did he think they were going to steal it from him? After all, he never had the slightest idea of stealing it. The boy said he didn't understand him now. Let him go. The man said he should apologize first. The boy said he was very sorry, sir. The man was surprised and said how quickly his character had changed. Did he have anything to say to him? The boy said he didn't know. It still wouldn't make sense even if he did. The man asked the boy what he wanted the old man to guess himself. The boy asked why everyone is pointing their fingers at him for no reason. He wants so much to be with others, and it's as if they're distancing themselves from him on purpose. So he often plays alone. But he wants to communicate with others too. The man said he still doesn't understand. Maybe there's something wrong with those people. Or maybe there's something wrong with him. The boy said that everyone around him calls him a monster, and now the old man is called crazy too. The man told the boy they were wrong. He's not a monster or a crazy person. He's the most special kid in the world, and if he thinks that after his thoughts he will become afraid of him, the boy is deeply mistaken in that. Why don't they roast that rabbit together? He's so hungry now. The boy was surprised at such a suggestion and thought. The boy decided to bring the man to the mansion. The man asked the boy if this was his house. The boy replied that it was. The man said in amazement that it was a huge palace. The boy replied that it was not so big, but it was full of valuable things. The man said that since the boy lived so richly, he would not let his teacher stay with him for a night. The boy asked since when did he become his teacher? The man said that they had just recently talked about his training. The boy said he remembered. That's why he brought him here, a walking disaster. But what if his father didn't like the whole thing? The man said that every father in the world would do anything to make his children happy. The boy said he wasn't sure about him. It's unlikely he would have gone on any crime, for example, but then a man appeared in front of him and shouted Konu. The boy lowered his head and asked his father what was wrong. The boy's father asked him where he was. And who is the man standing next to him? The man bowed and said he was Kang's father. His name is Guan Nora. And he's very happy to meet you. Kang's father said his name was Lee Jiwon. Guan said that they casually met Kang today. He would like to stay with him for a while and train him. Lee apologized for his impertinence and asked Guan to tell more about himself. Simply, a master would hardly wear such a garment. Guan laughed and said that, as a father should, he was quite perceptive. But don't let him call him a child, he's a soldier. Lee said he didn't think training would take long. Guan said he joined the army when he was 16 and things were going very well. After spending over 10 years there, he never had the confidence to go out and do it for a living, so he decided to keep honing his skills. But after another dozen years, he was useless, so they asked him to leave them. Lee asked what does it mean that he wants to stay here with Kang? Guan said that Kang isn't just what he seems at first glance. And I'm sure his father has also noticed that he's a man with a backbone. Guan said that being in the military, he has met a lot of different people along the way. And some of them are very much like him. Lee asked Guan, is he sure he can do it? Guan says he'll do it. He doesn't have much to do, but at least he'll be useful. He just wants to point him in the right direction. A few days later, Kang and Guan walked in front of the mansion and the boy said he was coming out. These were not empty words. Guan asked the boy what he was talking about. Kang replied that he would teach him. Kang said that his father was a rich man. Guan replied that it was obvious to the naked eye. He didn't think, rightly, that he would give him a house like this. Kang said that his father was a very good judge of character and didn't waste money. Despite this, he provided him with a place to live and even had a servant assigned to him. This shows that he, the teacher, really has something. Guan said it was already clear. After all, he had said he would help him without taking a penny in return. Kang said that in truth, he only half believed it. Guan asked that it was because of his pre-kid. Kang replied that anyone taking a look at him would say that he didn't look like the type who would teach anyone at all. Guan didn't like it and told Konu to mind his manners. If he spoke in such an uncivilized manner, he would not make friends with people. Kang replied that he was telling the truth, right? Guan asked what was so important about appearance. A person tends to always judge others by their clothes. Kang said that since Master doesn't know what a person is like on the inside, he can only rely on the outside. What's the other way? Guan said that even if it was really true, one shouldn't say such a thing in the open. Let him remember, speech should always be beautiful. Kang said he'd listen to the teacher then. What is he going to teach him? To look at him, he looks like he's read more books than he has. Guan laughed and asked Khan, did he really think he was going to be taught by books? Kang replied that the teacher had said he would teach him a way to live in society. Guang asked that Kang thought he would be told about distinguished adults, didn't he? Kang asked. Guan said as a boy and said at what point does his attire indicate that he would teach him such things? For the life of him, just knowing his name was enough. Kang asked what their training would consist of. Guan said he should teach him everything he knew. He may not look like a 5, but he has a lot of knowledge about the world. So it might take him a few years to learn it all. Kang smiled and said that he could live as a freeloader for a few years. Guan asked the boy if he looked like such a person. Kang said that's exactly what he looked like. Guan told the boy that they needed to see what he would teach him. By the way, where do they have food here? As the days and weeks passed, Guan still trained the boy. Because he loved him so much, Guan gave Khan a chick in his hands and told him not to let it go and to hold it. Kang asked the teacher what it was. Guan asked the boy and he couldn't see it himself. The chicken himself. He has to be gentle with him or the bird is finished. Kang said he realized it was a chicken, but what does he need it for now? Guan asked him, what does he think it is? Kang said, probably suggesting that he should dispose of him at will. Guan said Kang is a fool. He won't even close his eyes. He's going to drill chick to death with one look. Guan asked, then what should we do with him? Guan told him to use his brain. Does he think they just let him kill a bird? Kang thought and looked at all the lists in his head. Guan saw that he didn't know such a thing as how to raise a chicken. Guan asked Kang that he still didn't understand why he had been given a chick. Kang said that if it had been a little bigger, it would have been good for food, but he thinks he doesn't have the bird in his hands to be an appetizer. Besides, he doesn't think he wants to tell him to play with the bird. He has no other options in his mind. Guan sat down on his knee and asked, when the bird grows up, what will it become? Guan said of course it would be a chicken. That's what Guan said. Then what about raising a chicken into a hen? Guan said that chickens had that use too. He didn't think so. Guan asked, the others would say 100% to raise a bird, right? Guan said that's exactly the reason why he's special. There's no problem with him. It's just that if he doesn't think like that, he'll be alone for the rest of his life. Guan took the boy's hand and asked if his hands were warm. Guan said his hands were cold. Guan said that if you wait, they will get warmer. Guan asked, what do you mean, if you wait? Guan said there was no hurry. He would understand everything if he thought about it once. Guan asked if it was all necessary. Guan said he didn't know much, but the man said he did. There's a frame. He was just telling him that being special isn't weird. Kang said, so they look alike to him? Guang said they don't look alike at all. Compared to him, he's very ordinary. That was why he said so confidently that he could get along with other people. Kang said that means that person, like him, can't fit into society. Guan said no, he got along with the other people better than anyone else. He was a very bright person. His point is that if a truly extraordinary guy like him could live, he could do it too. Kang asked that in order to do that, he has to raise a chicken? Guan said right, until it becomes a chicken and starts laying eggs, he should take good care of it. Kang said he understood. In principle, it's not difficult. Guan said something that he was trusted with someone's life, even if it was a chicken, taking responsibility for it is far from a simple matter. This is his first teaching and assignment from him. Be sure to let Kang fulfill it. Weeks went by. Khan said it was a mistake. But why isn't this chicken eating? Khan repeated to himself that this was really a mistake. And then he saw a cat in the street and thought that he was the reason it wasn't eating. Kang saw that there were too many things around him that he had to take care of. He immediately stood up and said that it all pissed him off. Kang went outside and chased the cat away, saying that it was pissing him off already. Why the hell does he have to do all this for a bird that doesn't even eat normally? Kang wondered why he even had to fume about such things. What would he get in the end? He kept wondering why he had to do that because of some worthless animal. And then, looking at the bird, he started to get really angry. Kang went to kill him. But when he entered the room, someone pulled him back. Kang asked what was going on. Guan told Khan that he had been told, make sure to fulfill the task assigned to him. Guan walked over to the chick and stroking her told Konu to watch the bird nestle. Kang said that some worthless thing was discriminating against people. And with him, all that bird did was squeak. Guan asked the boy and that was why he was going to kill her? Kang said it wasn't like that. Guan said he felt like it. He's tired of courting, right? Is that why he decided to make a chick? Kang said no. Guan told the guy to keep his mouth shut. You could tell by the look on his face how tired he was. Kang said, how many times do I have to tell him? No. Guan said that if you don't, you should raise the bird well. Kang said that he will try his best somehow. Guan told him that if he would try somehow he's right. However, here is a tip for him, the chick should definitely survive. Guan said that he thought the boy would really make it, since special people have a strong will. Kang said, enough with the 2 years of this. Guan told Khan to remember, people don't like it when just a couple words make their interlocutor furious. Kang said that he already understood. He's the one who is the teacher, no way. Immediately, Guan took it in his hands and said his words are for his benefit. What's he mad about? Kang asked him what he was doing. Guan said he would do that every time he rages. Kang started to push him away and said he was disgusted. Guan smiled and said it was warm. Even he got goosebumps. Guan said it was good. Very good. Kang asked him what he was talking about. Guan said he got goosebumps, didn't he? That shows that he's an ordinary person too. Everything will work out if you train him gradually, step by step, but Guan did not expect this to happen. One day he went outside and saw Kang killing a chick. Kang was startled to see Guan and said that he had forgotten that he had to be raised. Guan realized that verbal control alone was not enough. Will alone would not do the trick. Those things that make people call him a monster still don't go anywhere. They are as natural to him as it is natural for others to eat food and go to the toilet. These very things are beyond the line of naturalness for him. He sees them as something he has to do. So he has to make something up. The next day, Guan brought Khan into the forest to train, while he himself lay under a tree and drank. But then Khan comes running in and asks what the hell is he doing anyway? He tells him to run to the top of the mountain and back, and what does he do? He thinks it's okay to have a good time and drink alcohol. Guan said he can see he's got the guy's energy. Means he can do another lap. Kang asked the teacher the reason he can't tell. He should at least find out if there is logic in his actions. Guan said to Khan, hadn't he made a promise to the teacher to unconditionally follow all his instructions? But he won't tell him, because it's a punishment for him for not keeping his promise. And then Kang became indignant. Guan asked the guy, is he starting again? Let him step to the top and back. If he makes it in 4 hours, he will be allowed to ask one question. Kang was displeased with those words, and was very angry. Guan said that otherwise any questions were forbidden. Kang turned around and looked at the mountain and started walking. As he walked up he told his teacher that they would see more. Guan saw that he needed to temper his energy first. Several hours passed, Guan couldn't wait for the boy and fell asleep. Then Kang came and started shouting at the top of his voice. Guan didn't listen to him and sent him back with a wave of his hand. He saw that the boy still had the strength to resist. He went up and down the mountain twice every day. The next day they embarked on another mission. Khan came to the field and asked, what the hell is this? Guan said they are lines, they will practice drawing. Kang asked, what are the lines? Guan started drawing lines and saw Kang standing and asked him what is he standing for? Let him repeat after him. Kang asked why he should do it. An indignant Kang said he would do it. He will have to answer all his questions after he draws. Kang began to labor and repeat the drawing after the teacher. When he finished he told him what he had drawn. Guan was lying under the tree again and while drinking said it was no good. Is that what he calls a repeat? Kang looked at the drawings and saw that they were quite different. Immediately, with all the anger he could muster, he said he understood. That day, Kang drew all over the field, but no drawing looked like the master's. Kang told the teacher to take pity. The handwriting is clear. Guan told the boy to come over to him. Guan lifted him up in the air and asked, did he even know what the character was? Kang said he realized it was Zhong. Guan asked, and what does it mean? Kang said it's fairness, correctness, straightforwardness, isn't it? Guan said right. His teacher is not a particularly smart man. He can only write the character Zhong and the 2 characters of his name. However, the people who came up with these very characters are not ignorant like him. Before writing the character Chan, they thought about its meaning. Let him just look at it. The character Chan consists of the top line, character 1, and the rest of it is the character end. It means to stop on your one and only path, look around and reflect. If Kang thinks and analyzes the situation, he will eventually come to the right decision. This is why the character Jong is written in this way. Kang said that the teacher is right. Kwon said that he really needs the character Jong. If he wants to make friends with people, he should think about how they will accept his words and actions. Kang asked, so does that mean he has to adjust to everyone else? Kwon asked, why do that if he thinks his position is right? Because he's not ordinary, he should show concern for other people. That's what he meant. Kang asked what kind of care? Kwon said that henceforth he would climb the mountain before noon and write that character in the afternoon. With the right thoughts, the right character, Kang began to draw and told his teacher that his lines were not as beautiful as his. Kwon said his lines are a reflection of his soul. They are crooked and don't look good. Kang asked the teacher where he had seen a person who did everything well the first time. Kwon laughed and said that there are such people. Kang asked, and who are they? Kwon said they were people with the right soul. Kang thought about it and asked, is he a right soul? Kwon said he didn't know that. But he's trying to make it even now, isn't he? Kwon realized that it wouldn't be easy. When drawing, one must put strength into the entire lower body. Therefore, it would require a lot of stamina. One has to reduce energy to the point where there is no energy left for oddball thoughts. If one spends energy in this way, he will start thinking more than moving. Moreover, he will become addicted to repetitive physical training. Therefore, for a while, you can take it easy. One fine morning, Kwon was awakened early in the morning by the cries of roosters. He looked at them and rejoiced in life. Kwon thought he could tell, every day he gets chicken. But why is he drooling buckets? He turned back around and looked at his room, thinking about when he had lived in such luxury. Kang Jin's family's mansion is so big, he won't even catch his eye. However, why does he feel so lousy in his heart? Just then, someone shouted for him from the street. It was Head Lee, the father of the outstanding boy Kang. Lee took Kwon and went out for a walk. Kwon told the chapter that he was trying his best. Lee said that mere exhaustion would not bring the full result. Kwon actually thought he didn't care about what happened during that time. It turns out he didn't, even though it's about his son. How could he not be interested? Kwon said there were other ways, but he thought it was too early for them. Lee said, looking like his words had caused him to misunderstand. That's not what he meant. Kwon said that parental feelings are all the same. It's understandable that he's worried. However, he has ideas, so he asks him to wait a little longer. Lee said it was settled. He was already immensely grateful to him for treating Khan with heart and soul. Kwon said it was a joy to think of him that way. He definitely won't disappoint him. At this time Kwon headed into the forest, and again forced Kana to climb up on his leg and draw. While he himself drank under a tree, Kang was so strong that he tried his best. While Kwon was sleeping, he looked up and saw that food had been brought to him. Kwon began to eat, for he was very hungry. Then Kwon came and asked him if it was good for him. Kwon invited Kang in and said they would eat together. Kang looked at everything and called it dog food. Kwon said that Kang wanted to say that dog food was eaten. Kang said that human food becomes dog food. Kwon said if Kang doesn't want to eat, he shouldn't eat. He'll get more. Kwon watched and wondered how he could eat it all. For a long time, Kang couldn't resist eating such food, and immediately started gulping it all down like a dog himself. Kwon asked him how he liked the food. When hungry, any food is a tenner. Kang said he'd like his food to be separately assembled. Kwon asked him why this. It's enough as it is. Did he think he was just suggesting that he eat out of the same basket? Shared food is the easiest and most effective way to learn to share with others. Khan said, just for the record, how does he cover the distance from the summit to here in 2 hours? Kwon said that, as they say, you can't cut down a tree with one blow. In the beginning it took him 6 hours to get there and back, but now he can do it in about 4 hours. Kwon said it's boring. And it's hard, and I don't have the energy for anything else. Kwon saw him coming right away. We need to beat the energy out of him good. However, we can't let it get boring. He understands Kana. For 2 months without a break, all he's done is dash around the mountains. We can't let Kang's interest slip. That late evening, Kwon and Kang began to have fun. Kwang said that you can just put it into words. Why hug him? It's disgusting. Guan asked him, "What's wrong?" "It's chilly outside, but hugging each other, it gradually gets warmer." Kang said there's a room for such occasions. Guan said what a bland guy. Guan decided to show him the sky and told him to look how beautiful it was. Guan said even so, it's just the sky. Guan said that briefly and clearly arranging objects with the surroundings is also his ability. Guan thanked him for following his teacher's words. Kang said that if you ask him anything, he grumbles. Guan asked Kang, couldn't he happily accept what was said? Why pick on every word? Kang said to accept something with joy, that something must cause joy. Guan told him that he should not do that for himself, but for him. 10,000 times he has written the character Zhong, but he still continues in the same vein. He needs to train his thoughts. Kang asked, don't thoughts need to be practiced too? Guan said he definitely needed to. Kang started whining and said he was really tired. Guan asked, did the guy think it would be so easy to fit in so easily? He's not the only one. Everyone's making similar efforts. Guan said he'd do it if he had to. Guan tells him to remember. He doesn't require him to think by stepping into the other's shoes. Did he remember what he'd been told about that friend? Guan asked, the one who looked like him in some way. Guan said yes. And that's what he said, it was hard to death. And then Guan thought about what he said, and so he asked, said Guan, and how did he stand it? Does the boy know what the guy answered him? Guan got curious and asked the teacher what was his answer. Guan said that the boy had summoned the truth. In order to get one thing, one must give up something else. Just like that, he held on, sacrificed, and in the end he had everything he wanted in his hands. Khan pondered the words, held on, sacrificed, and in the end turned out to be everything he wanted. Guan told the boy that it wouldn't be easy. Things he understands are sometimes difficult to put into practice. What if he doesn't even have the understanding to do something easily? Guan told him not to worry. He, as his teacher, would constantly remind him of this by being around him. And even if he kept forgetting, he would be sure to repeat it again. Kang said that, so milling circles uphill and writing hieroglyphics is also part of his philosophy. Guan said that's pretty much it. Even though his philosophy can be called garbage, normally, the human body is driven by the brain. However, if the body reaches its limit, the situation is reversed. To endure is called endurance, and to overcome is called will. And in his opinion, he lacks these two qualities. That was why he would learn now the simplest methods to build up stamina with will. Kang said that such a thing could be put into words. Guan told Konu not to, under any circumstances, get close to those who could only scratch their tongues instead of acting, and then they both started laughing loudly. Kang shouted to Guru that he had told him not to press against his face. The next morning, Kang got up and started warming up. He could see that his teacher was slacking off today, and he's forced to come here every day. And then Khan tried to stand on his hands and managed to do so. Kang smiled and could see that he was having a lot of fun. Compared to the vows. Here came the day and Kang came to the private school of Bright Eye. And he was met by the academician Zheng in Moon. Zheng asked Kang, he didn't read anything again? Why isn't he doing it at all? Doesn't run errands? Chan realized that if he hadn't had such high hopes, he wouldn't be disappointed now. He still thought he had met an outstanding talent in his elderly years. Somehow, as time went on, his disappointment grew and grew. Chan told the kid to say something. Just don't let him say he's keeping up with the school program. Kang realized that if he said anything, he would get angry. As usual, Zhong asked Kang, can't he hear his teacher? This problem doesn't only affect him. If he doesn't try hard enough, what will people think of him and his teacher? Kang said that he didn't know the reason. Although no, he doesn't understand at all. Zhong asks him what it's about. Kang said it's about all his teachings. Chan banged his hand on the table and told Khan to be more specific. Otherwise, how would he be able to explain it to him? Kang said what he had already said, absolutely everything. Zhong called the boy unfit. Is he really playing with his teacher? Zhong sent Kang to the penitent's room to think about his behavior. Kang stood up and said he understood. Chan thought maybe this guy should just be kicked out of school. With his behavior, he's ruining the spirit of hard study and other students. But when would he ever meet such a person again? He could pass his name on to the next generation. Kang went outside and saw his peers discussing him. He asked them, are they still bored with him? Do they still have something to say about him? He remembered being told he had to study, so he studied. It wasn't anything complicated. Why the hell does he have to do this? It's not like he can even play with the other kids. Kang wondered, what was his problem? Why are they whispering and shunning him? What had he done to be treated like this? Kang remembered that they didn't like him when he bought glazed fruit on a stick or rice cakes. At what point did things go wrong? Kang wondered if it was because of that very incident. When he cut the bird in front of everyone. And then he thought maybe it was because of that. Wasn't that fun? Kang looked at the guy and saw that there was nothing special about him, but the guys follow him. Sure, there are some who get into conflicts, but those who are friends with him are much more numerous. Kang decided to leave it all behind and go to practice with his teacher. Immediately, he started drawing again. Kang wondered how much longer he had to do this painting thing. The mountain marathon alone was already giving him a hard time. By drawing hieroglyphics, he can get along with people? Isn't that bullshit? And then Guan told the boy to come eat. Guan spread out all the food on the floor. Khan asked him why the first thing he says is always let's eat. Guan said that because it was important. Especially for a growing body like him. Kang said that whoever looked at them would say they had an insatiable appetite. Guan said that anything is possible. He likes to eat. Okay, they'd better continue their conversation over food. Guan grabbed the chicken and said the meat was his favorite. Kang asked the teacher why he didn't gain weight from such gastronomic cravings. Guan said he had to starve a lot when he was young. Kang asked, don't they give you food in the army? Guan said they do, of course. But not enough. And besides, there's a rule that an ordinary soldier must always be hungry. Kang said he understood the teacher. Let him eat slower, or it's not pleasant to watch. Guan said it's his bad habit. Let him raid on his own. To run far, you have to eat tightly. Kang said by the way, he was just about to tell him something about it. Guan asked, what was it? Kang said that he wouldn't run anymore. Guan was surprised and asked why? Guan said it was hard for him. And there is no improvement. Guan said to Kang, what did he think? Flying through the sky and blowing wind with the palm of his hand is like 2 fingers on the pavement. Kang said that if he didn't do that, it wouldn't be hard. Guan said tired their world. What will he do next without perseverance and character? Kang said it's all right. He knows that his father is rich. When he dies, all the property will go to him, so he doesn't have to worry about food and shelter. Guan said, well, how about living a slightly more beautiful life? Guang said, you can just live a simple life without any hardships. Guan said that Kang had said himself that he wanted to make friends with the people around him. Wouldn't it be better if he learned to fly through the sky and let the wind blow with his palm? Kang asked, what if after that he was called a monster who could fly and blow wind with his palm? Guan realized that the kid clearly had something going on today. Guan laughed and said that there was nothing to say to the kid in opposition. Kang said that this was proof that his words were taking place. Guang walked over and gave him a simple hug. Kang said he was disgusted. Guan asked the guy, did he dare call the teacher's display of affection nasty? Guan asked the kid, did something happen at school? Kang just remained silent to that question. Guan started tickling him and said that Kang wasn't going to lay it out. Kang told the teacher to stop. Guan said he should tell him. After all, he had promised not to hide anything from him and to share everything. Kang said he understood and told him everything. Guang listened to him and asked if he was making a big deal out of something like that. Guang said he was serious. Just then, Guan grabbed his leg and arm. Guan felt it and immediately asked his teacher what he was doing. Guan picked him up and began to twist him around. Guan saw that Guan is a child. He's still just a child. Guan asked Kang what he said he didn't understand. Kang cheered and said, right. Guan asked him, does one necessarily need to understand? Kang immediately hesitated. Guan stopped and said if he didn't understand, then don't. Kang asked, what do you mean? Guan said it's not necessary to do that. It's only enough to pretend when he is ordered to do something. Kang asked, pretending? Guan said to pretend to do something when ordered. And if he doesn't understand something, let him pretend to understand it. Guan asked his teacher why he wanted to do this. Guan told Quan that the important question to him was why, or was it that he could get along with whoever he wanted to get along with? Teacher Zhong used to tell all the students that for any endeavor, one must put forth one's best effort and be sincere. If there is sincerity, there is form. If there is form, there is manifestation. If there is manifestation, there is clarification. If there is clarity, there is movement. If there is movement, Chan said, there is transformation. If there is transformation, there is also change. Only the perfect sincerity of the celestial gives the ability to change. Just then, Zhong turned to Khan. He said that the content of today's lesson was chosen especially for him. Does he understand the meaning of what he said? Kang replied that he didn't understand. Zhong slapped his hand on the table and said that if he doesn't understand, let him learn. Doesn't he think it's worth thinking about the meaning? Kang thought to Zhong not to ask him a question, but to explain in a human way. Zhong got angry and called him a jerk. Not only is he exhibiting inappropriate behavior in class, but he's ignoring the teacher. Kang said it's not like that, he just doesn't know what to say. Zhong tells him since he doesn't know, he needs to rack his brain and think. If he's going to behave like that, he can get out of the classroom now. And don't even think about coming here. Zhong realized that he needed to uproot his uncultivated behavior. If he didn't show strictness, he wouldn't stop. Just then, Kang stood up and headed for the exit. Zhong asked him what he was doing now. Kang said that according to the rules, a student can't confront his teacher's words. Isn't he right? Kang said that since his teacher told him not to set foot here again, he should obey him. Zhong got mad and called him a douchebag. Since when did he listen to his teacher? Kang said he felt like he had been frustrating him the whole time, so he thought it was worth it to at least follow his words today. Zhong realized that he really wanted to kick him out. However, it would be a real shame if rumors spread about him failing to educate just one child and kicking him out of school. Moreover, if you think about the financial help he received from Master Li, people would think he robbed the Li family and then kicked their heir out the door. Zhong told the guy to get back to his seat quickly. Kang said that the teacher told him to leave after all. Zhong said, once again telling him to sit back down. Kang didn't expect that and had to go back in. Chan thought, what the hell kind of sin did he commit in his past life? Anyway, looking at that guy, the anger was going away a bit. Did Chan tell Tai's boyfriend to explain the meaning of the word to his misunderstanding classmate? Day said that only a sincere person can change the world. Everything has its own interconnectedness. And sincerity can surprise even the heavens. Chan said that was right. And he decided to ask him what Confucius had said about those who do not ask themselves how to be. Day said then he didn't know what to do with them himself. Zhong said that there's really nothing that can be done about those who don't even think about what needs to be done. And then Kang couldn't help but ask, doesn't understanding come with age? Wouldn't it be strange if he, a 9-year-old child, understood all of this at once? Zhong said that since Kang lacks understanding, that's why he came to this place to learn. Kang said that the teacher himself said that it takes a lifetime to learn, so there is no rush. However, he is now chastising him for not understanding the material. What words then should he follow now? And then Zhong was surprised that it was Kang who had memorized it. They looked at each other for a long time, but the teacher didn't say anything to him. That same night, Guan practiced outside, and practiced his stick-wielding abilities. Guan felt that old age was no fun. He was already so out of breath. He thought that from now on, he shouldn't slack off on his training. Just then Kang came in and told the teacher he was back. Guan asked him if there was anything unusual at school today. Kang said it was. Guan was surprised that before, the guy kept answering that everything was fine. Guan asked him what was wrong. Kang said he was embarrassed because of that goat. That goat made a laughing stock out of him. Guan asked, "What do you mean?" Kang waved his hand and said there was one. He is even more unusual than him. Guan asked Kang, "Is there someone more unusual than him?" Kang said that when others say nice things, that type pretends to be magnanimous. And when someone makes fun of someone, he pretends he doesn't care. He's the only one who's pretending. Guan laughed and said, "What a kind man, of course." Kang asked, why on earth would he be a do-gooder? He's also a self-serving idiot. Guan asked, what does that have to do with him? Why is he angry? Kang said this guy gets on his nerves. Guan asked, is it for no good reason? Guan said he doesn't even know why this guy annoys him, and Kang himself doesn't know by any chance. Let him spill it here. Kang said he was serious. He's just disgusted with him. Guan said that Kang had promised him that he would only tell the truth and obey him in everything. Guan asked, that goat is trusted, right? He tries to the death to get along with others, but it's all in vain. And that man does nothing, but he is praised. Kang said it's not quite like that. There are those who hate that jackass as much as he does? Guan said, and those guys in turn are hated by others? Guan told Kang that even though he may call that man a jerk, there is definitely a reason why others still like him, even if he doesn't understand it either. What did the teacher teach him? Kang said, pretending to understand everything. Guan said, right, let him pretend and mastered from a skill he doesn't have. Kang asked that the teacher was suggesting that he act like a clown? Guan said if it's worth it, sure. Kang said he has pride. He doesn't want to make friends this way. Guan said that's a good excuse. And that kind of excuse shows that he's just not capable of anything. He's not alluding to his pride, he's alluding to the fact that he refuses to work on himself when he has a chance to be better. Guan told Kang not to make that face. What's wrong with him? Is he wrong about something? Kang said he didn't say that. Guan walked over to him and immediately hugged him. Kang asked what he was doing out of the blue. Guan said that both he and the boy knew it wouldn't be easy. Kang said that's right. Guan asked the guy, then would he listen to what he said? Kang agreed and said that however if he succeeded, what would the teacher do? Guan said it's in his own best interest, isn't it? What does he want the teacher to do for him? Kang said that he is a teacher, so he should teach. Guan laughed and said that if he could figure out that buddy's virtues, he would teach him something new. Kang said he understood. He certainly doesn't like doing dumb things like that jackass, but if you take it as a skill, Guan said he needed to train him. Kang was interested in this and said he ran. Guan saw that no matter how one looked at it, it came out that the school was the exact opposite of Kana. Would have to look in there once. At this time, Teacher Zhong sighed and wondered who he had wronged in his past life. How could he bring that boy down? And then Guan greeted the teacher and said he was honored to welcome a teacher with such a high reputation. Teacher Zhong said he was pleased to meet him. But what is his name? He asked. The teacher said his last name was Guan and his first name was No. Zhong told Guan that he's Kang's teacher. Guan said, what kind of teacher is he? A simple warrior? He's not even close. Chan said that you can learn something from warriors too. Guan said he was grateful for such words. He's on a case. His apprentice said he was studying with him, so his curiosity brought him here. Zhong asked who the man was talking about. Guan said that he thought he could be called the most daring kid. It's Kang Jin. Don't let Teacher Zhong misunderstand him. He only knows how to write his own name, God willing. So he may think of him as a warrior mentor. Guan said, to tell you the truth, it's so surprising that he's called a teacher. He is, after all, the Li family's freeloader. He was so uncomfortable living at other people's expense. And somehow he ended up becoming Master Kana. Zhong said that he understood. However, what business did he come to him for? Guan said he heard that Kang was getting upset. Zhong said that's right, he's very distracted in class. Guan said he's still a child, after all. If you calm him down, he will obey right away. Chan was surprised at his teacher's words. That kid would listen? That's impossible, isn't it? Guan saw that it was clear from one glance that he was a stubborn prick. He seemed to be the kind of person who pressured others with his authority. That was why the old man was not to Khan's liking. Guan said he thought there might be something he could do to help, so he decided to visit him. Guan realized that he couldn't let Kang's anger increase here. What would be the point of calming it down at home if it accumulated at school again? For several days in a row, Guan came to Chan with a guest and tried to reassure him about himself and the boy Konu. Zhong told his disciple Guan that there had never been anything like this in his entire life. Does he know how many people wanted to learn from him? Guan said he thought there was nothing to say. He knows very well that there is a lot. Zhong said that the little guy, Kang, didn't realize it, though. He was blinded by the fact that he's smart. You shouldn't have fallen for it. Guan said it right. Kang is a bit lazy by nature. He's tolerant because he's accepted by the head of the Li family, but if it were up to him, he'd kick him out. Teacher Jong began to nod and said that he had the same thing. If it were up to him. There's no one to blame but himself. If he had the same perseverance and intelligence, things would have been different. Kwon told the teacher that he understood him very well. He had to work very hard himself. Lately, however, he's gotten a little bit of a grip on how to handle the boy. Now he's learning instead of babbling. Jong was surprised by these words and asked Kwon what he was implying about Kang listening to him. Kwon said he wouldn't say it was perfect. He just managed to learn how to work with his character. Jong asked him, how did he do? Kwon said, can he compare to him in anything? Jong said let him be ashamed, but let the student be honest. His authority was being undermined because of the boy. He shouted, scolded, and rebuked Kana, but it was as if he had been shouted at. Kwon said, then could he dare to share a few secrets with Teacher Jong? Don't let Teacher Jong say anything to the boy. You can't rebuke or reprimand him. And especially in front of others. Jong said for Kwon to continue, because Kang's pride is far from overblown. He also has a very strong sense of competition. Therefore, he should take advantage of it. Jong asked how. Kwon told Teacher Jong to come closer. He immediately told him his secret to controlling Kang. The next day, Jong told the class that it was a waste of time to study and not reflect. It is ruinous to reflect and not learn. Chan looked at Kang and kept his eyes on him. Kang thought the teacher was going to give him a hard time again. Chan asked the boys what those words meant. Dae said that knowledge should not be left to knowledge alone. Even if he learned something, without realization, the knowledge will be of no use. Jong said, right. In other words, everything has to be not only in words, but in deeds. And called the guy smart and saw that he knew the material ahead of time. Dae told the teacher that he was not worth such praise. He still lacks a lot. Chong said that teaching that bears fruit is satisfying. Jong looked at Kang and said that now Jae-moon would answer. Kang didn't understand what was going on. Is he ignoring him now? He actually knows what that phrase means. Jong listened to everyone, then Kang still didn't ask the question. At the end of the lesson, he said that everyone did well. He had nothing else to be happy about. Just then, Kang shouted out and turned to the teacher. Jong asked him what was wrong. Kang asked why he didn't ask him the question. Chan said after listening to him, he thought about his behavior. He really shouldn't have rushed him in his training. It was his mistake not to recognize that his abilities had deteriorated. Henceforth, disregarding his poor performance would not be blamed on him, and then everyone started laughing at him. Kang got angry and thought, does the teacher think he's completely stupid? The proud and joyful teacher Chong rejoiced and realized that he would have to give his student a treat, but alcohol. He didn't think he would feel so relaxed now. The next morning the roosters were crowing, and Khan was very angry with them, and chased them all over the yard with a stone in his hand. Kwon asked him why he was venting his anger on an innocent creature. What's wrong? He's so active after school. Kang said there was a reason for that. Kwon asked if it was because the school thought he was a child. Kang asked how does he know? Kwon said that if a teacher doesn't know what his apprentice does and how he lives, he is incompetent. Kang asked the teacher, since when did he start caring about something like that? Kwon asked, was he that offended? Kang said that in the teacher's opinion he should have fun after being ignored. Kwon understood that he was giving a tooth, if the guy lacked sympathy. The desire to be recognized, he still had it. Kwon asked him why he should. He himself had once told him that he saw no reason to study writing, so he didn't. Kang said that his thoughts on the matter hadn't changed much now. However, he doesn't like to be ignored. Kwon said that since the boy now felt the need to learn, go ahead. It's no big deal. Kang said that's exactly what he was going to do. He will definitely stomp on that old man. He will no longer be ignored. Kang was surprised and called himself a busy man. He had to obey, make friends, and learn to write. Kwon said that, however, he can do anything. He doesn't like being ignored after all. Kang said that's right. The next day, Jong saw that he wasn't wrong after all. Kang is a very smart kid. That means his way of teaching wasn't good enough. What could be better in this world than the teachings of men? He got 2 such men, and this is his best blessing. In his last year, Jong decided to suggest that the guys read Hyeon song today. After the class was over, the guys went home. Kang was walking home as usual and saw one of the guys saying that no matter how it is hard for poor people to live in this world. But if they beat a man who only knows how to hold on to his books, people will think they're cruel, but they're better off without this guy. He's only good at attracting trouble. Kang thought, aren't they tired? What's wrong with them? One of the guys said Day is so arrogant even though he has nothing. Kang immediately heard the guys wanting to teach Day a lesson. And then he stopped. He saw one of them punch Day and thought they were crazy. Kang thought, why would these guys touch him if he was already having a hard time? How could they hurt him so recklessly? But normally there shouldn't be compassion or something like that in that situation. That's what the master is teaching them. One of the bullies was telling Day that he thought bad luck came even just by looking at him, and then Khan told the bully that he didn't think so. And then he punched him in the big face with his fist. One of the guys asked Khan what he was doing. Khan wouldn't talk to him and immediately punched him in the liver. The guy asked him what that meant. Kang said he should have kept quiet, as he had done earlier. Why did he open his mouth? Kang shooed them all away and asked if they wanted him at home smashing their plates of food. The guys apologized and said they were wrong. Kang immediately attacked them again and thought, why should he, because of these bastards, feel dirty? Kang said they should be quiet at school. But here he didn't expect this. Day grabbed his arm while punching him. Day told him to stop. Kang was in school and didn't understand what was wrong. After all, he wasn't here to help him. Day said he knows. But let him stop anyway. Kang wondered what was going on with that guy. Khan removed his hand and told him to let him go. Before he beat him up. Day said he'd let go, just let him leave the others alone. Kang was surprised and asked why he was worried about them. Day said he's worried about himself. Let him just let them go. Kang was surprised at such words and told the others to scram. If the master found out what happened to Day, they wouldn't live. Kang told the guy that he understood what Day meant. He's okay with it now. Day said nothing and remained silent. Kang said then it was time for them to go to his house. Day was surprised and asked why that was. Kang said he needed to go to him since he needed something from him. Day didn't refuse him, so they went to his place. Kang was surprised from where Day lived. He saw that their dog box looked better than this place. Just then Day shouted that they had come. Day said to tell Kang now why he wanted to come here. Kang said it was to study. Day asked, studying with the man who lived in that little house? Kang said everyone likes him except the assholes who beat him up. Especially the adults. Just then, the door opened and Day's sister and brothers jumped outside screaming that their brother had come. Day immediately asked them, have they eaten? Little replied that they hadn't and she was very hungry. Day replied that he will cook it now. And this is the school friend behind him. The boys all bowed and said hello to Kang. Day told the boy that they were his juniors. Day said he would say their names one by one. The older boy's name is Hong, the little sister's name is John, and the little girl's name is Mi. Kang said it was nice to meet him and gave his name. Day asked him to come in because he needed to greet his mother. The boys went into the room and Day went straight to his mother's bed. He told his mom that he had come. Kang bowed and said he was Day's classmate. Day told his mother that he came with a friend today. And asked Kang to understand his mother. She is sick and can't say hello to him. Kang looked around with his eyes and saw that their grandmother's room looks 10 times better. Also, his mother looks older than his grandmother. Day patted Kana on the shoulder and said that they had already said hello and now it was time for them to go. Kang followed Day around all the time and saw him doing all the household chores. And couldn't understand how he did it. Kang made up his mind and told Day that if his mother is always lying down, who takes care of the house? Who makes the money? Day said that he is the one who does everything. Besides, the master and the villagers are very helpful. Thanks to them, he can learn. Kang asked, isn't it hard? Hard asked surprised at Day. He's just grateful that he can learn. Kang was surprised that he was happy. Even in this situation, Kang asked him, do other people think like him too? Day was surprised and asked what he was talking about. Kang said that other people feel happy living the same way he does. Day said it depends on each person's mentality. Day said he is happy because there are family members he can take care of. He is lucky to have met such a wonderful person as a master, and he is happy to be able to learn. Kang couldn't believe yet that Day was living in this house and also happy. Day said that besides, studying is enjoyable and he is happy because there are no difficulties in studying, and at least he has hope. Konu asked the guy, does he want to become an official? Day said it's not so bad to dream of climbing the social ladder. Kang saw that this guy has a lot less time for everything, but he's a better student than him. Is he really worse than him? And then Mi grabbed Kang's hand and told him he was beautiful, and asked him to play with her. Kang was very angry at such touches, and decided to use his abilities, but then he saw that no one was chopping wood anymore, so he stopped. Kang took his hand away and decided to learn from this guy. This is his little sister. If he refused her, he might hate him. How should people behave in such a situation? Kang immediately remembered Guan spinning him around in the air. Kang decided to do it too and immediately saw the girl's joy. Kang also thought, why is she so light? So he asked Mi how old is she? Mi replied that she was 5 years old. As they sat down together at the table, they wished each other a pleasant appetite. Kang had seen the food and didn't want to touch it. He saw them all eating from the same shared plate and couldn't understand how they weren't disgusted. Day told him to eat, not to be shy. Kang decided to try it and was immediately surprised at how good the food was. But he felt that there wasn't enough salt. Day asked him, does he not like it? Kwon asked, do people really eat that? Day said the kid said he came here to learn. Maybe he'll learn as he is today. Kang asked, how can you eat something like that? That's why he gets beaten up by those guys every day. Day hadn't finished his food, and seeing that his brother had nothing left, he decided to share with him, and gave him his potatoes. Kang thought, what could he learn here? Kang told Day that he shouldn't have given him his food. Day was surprised and didn't understand him at first. Kang said he understood why he gave him the food. But wouldn't it be a great misfortune if he fainted from hunger? Since he's the only person able to feed his family now, he's the hope of his family. Day smiled and said you could say that. Kang said that he should take care of himself first and then for his juniors. If he faints, who will look after the family and the house in his place? Day says that Kang is right, too. But if he wants to succeed, he needs to feel comfortable, and when he sees his family fed, he feels comfortable. Kang asked what was the point of that? Day said he would understand if he had brothers or sisters. Kang thought, was he wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. He was absolutely definitely right. But why did he feel as if Day was angry with him? Day thought it was strange at all, and thought, what was he learning now? At this time, Guan rested on the training field, and waited for Kana. Guan was having a terrible dream at that time. And a voice asked him if he was afraid? Guan asked, who was to be afraid of? The guy tells Guan that he's definitely unusual. He's the first one who knows him and isn't afraid. Guan asked the guy how many people he had known since he became a private. The guy replied that he knows no one. And Guan is the first. He doesn't socialize with people, but because of that, he understands them even better. The boy pointed his finger at Guan and said that he was definitely a weirdo. Guan said he was talking nonsense. The guy told him not to be too gullible. Vigilance is good for all of them. And then Guan came to his senses and opened his eyes and wondered, why was this guy dreaming about him? And why isn't this guy here yet? At this time, Kang was running as hard as he could to make it to practice. He wondered how much longer he could run. On his way to practice, he heard strange sounds coming from the bushes. He got there and saw a scary beast wanting to eat squirrels. Khan saw the squirrels asking for help with their squeaky voices. And then the beast began to approach them and put out his tongue. One of the main squirrels decided to protect herself and her family. She immediately jumped on this big animal. Khan saw everything and did not expect the squirrel to die so quickly. And just turning her head, she was already lying in the mouth of the beast. Kang remembered Day's words and decided to do the same. He picked up a rock and immediately hit the beast. Khan walked up to the squirrels and saw how frightened they were. He picked up the smallest one and said he was lucky. Khan dragged them all to his house and started feeding them nuts. The squirrels were very happy to be rescued. Khan saw something and asked them, "What's with the arrogance?" One of the squirrels came up to him and looked at him with cute little eyes. Kang felt like he had lost his mind. How she was pissing him off. Kang tried to hit him, but he couldn't do it. Kang said he shouldn't have brought him and made a useless promise to the master. The squirrel jumped on his arm and immediately fell asleep. Khan was surprised at such tenderness and decided to put him on a pillow. The next morning, Kang slept so sweetly, but the roosters started crowing from the street, as usual. He would have been very angry with them at that moment, ready to kill them. Khan cleaned himself up and went over to check on the squirrel and saw that all he could do was eat and sleep. Khan sat down to write a book while the squirrel in front of him was having fun and eating. He wrote about the squirrel that he had eaten very little food in the early morning. Coachman Yang told him that he was probably a baby, and before he went to bed, he filled a small bowl with water, but he could not drink it. After that he decided to draw water with his little finger and drink it that way. After that the amount of eating increased. After a month, he thought it had definitely gotten bigger. He was going to weigh it, but hadn't done so yet. It didn't seem like it was necessary. Khan looked at the squirrel and said he never thought he would raise him for more than 2 months. But then Guan came in and asked if it was time for him to go to school. Kang said he was on his way. He was just filling out this kid's diary. Guan said to Khan, maybe it's time to give him a name? How long is he going to call him boy? Kang asked, why make up a name for him? After all, he wasn't interested at all. Guan wondered if it was time for the guy to show his affection after bringing him up for 2 months, and then, he won't have a killer feeling, but a nurturing feeling. He needs to get used to that feeling. And then Kang asked the teacher, isn't it time to use the promise? Guan asked, what promise? Kang said his teacher told him that if he took good care of him for more than a month, he would tell him how to shoot a fireball. Guan wondered what the guy had memorized, and now he had a problem. What should he teach this guy? Guan said nothing to him, and decided to walk him to school. But at the threshold he stopped and wished him good luck. Guan thought, what should he do? He wouldn't get tired of climbing up the mountain. Also on second thought, the time had shortened a lot. He's going up the mountain too fast. Is that possible for a 9-year-old? Guan needs to teach him something that can interest him and tire him out at the same time. The good news is that he has some free time to socialize with Day 1. Kang caught some ducks and coming today asked if they can cook this. If not, he will tell his housekeeper to cook it and send it to them. The girl took the ducks and said he could cook them. The boys were happy and ran into the house. Da thanked the guy for the food and said he hadn't seen them so happy in a long time. How could he thank him? Kang said to Da to make him understand his words and actions. No matter how he thinks about it, he doesn't quite understand him. Da says that Kang always asks the same thing. But he doesn't understand exactly what Kang wants from him. Kang asked how to get people to like him. Can't he ask that? Da asked surprised, likable. Is that what he wanted to understand? Da thought about it and said that one could live well without it too. And then Kang was surprised at such words. Da said that when 10 people are there, 10 different colors appear, and if 100 white people gather, they all have different colors too, so he doesn't have to copy him, but do what he thinks is right. Khan asked. Who's copying? He just wants to learn. Da asked him why he wants to learn. Kang asked him what was he asking? Da thought that was definitely weird. Da asked him differently, why is he learning from a master? Kang said that because he needed to study. Everyone else does. Da told him, and to be more specific, Kang thought and said that people show favor to the knowledgeable over the ignorant. And he listened to him well. Da said that this is not the case with him. He is learning in order to get out of poverty. In this way, people learn the same things, but how they perceive it and how they think about it are different. Da told Kang that they have different roads. He doesn't need to think like him. He was born different. What's the point of him understanding him? Kang thought and realized that Da was right. And how much it all pissed him off. Why did Master give him this assignment? Khan thought he wouldn't learn because they're all different, but it's true that people like him. Kang said Da doesn't understand him either. But he needs to understand him. But one thing he knows for sure is that all white people are white in color. Kang says that the other kids can refuse his request, but Da, for some reason, firmly refuses him. Da said so he wouldn't misunderstand him. He doesn't want to have a friend like Kang exactly. Kang said that's what he meant. Then they'll keep seeing each other. And nothing in the world is free. Da asked him where he got that kind of money from. Kang said that his world is different from his world. In his world, there is a duty and also a price for everything he does. Just then, Day couldn't stand it and shouted at him. Kang thought, why the hell is he giving up money when he lives like this? Kang said that people are different. That's what he just taught him. Also, making friends is a good thing. Day said it's different. Kang tossed the money aside and said they would see each other tomorrow. Day yelled at him to get that bag. Kang told Day if he didn't want to keep them to himself, just have him buy something to eat with them. Every time he comes to their house, he's starving. And suggested they eat well next time. In the morning, Guan brought Kang to the waterfall. Kang asked why they were here. It's a little cold for swimming. Guan said it was to train him in fireball. Kang was surprised and asked why they were here. Guan tells Kang that he can't just pick up and learn it and he must have the inner strength to do so. Kang asked, what is that? Guan said it means he needs to explore his body. Kang said he didn't understand what the teacher was talking about. Guan said that Kang would know right away if he trained like him. Kang thought about it and said that means he needs to study his body. This was the first time he heard that there was something like this. Guan said only the strong like him know about it. Guang said for the teacher to teach him sooner. Guan said that's why, to find your inner strength, you have to start breathing properly. Breathe? Asked Guang. Guan said right, breathing correctly as he had taught him to breathe before. Kang said his teacher told him that no matter how hard it was, he should only breathe through his nose. If he got tired, he could breathe out through his mouth, but he told him to always breathe through his nose. Guan said, that's right. This is correct breathing, and this is how internal air is created. He should inhale and exhale very slowly. It will be difficult at first, but the more he practices, the sooner he will feel that it has become much easier. Kang asked, is that it? Guan said no, you will still need to retract your stomach on the inhale and bulge on the exhale. Kang asked, is it the other way around? Guan said, this is what Yekchen is. People live with human energy, but when you have to absorb the energy of nature, that's called Yekchen. Kang immediately began to try it out. Guan realized that because of this, he would be focused for a long time. Guan asked, it's not easy, is it? Kang said right. He just thought about something else for a moment. Guan said that's why it's hard to train inner strength. After all, it's not easy to concentrate. Immediately, Guan picked up Kana and threw him right into the lake. Kang shouted in a loud voice and asked the master what he was doing. Guan said he was helping him. Guan told the guy to go under the waterfall. Guang tiredly wondered and asked why there. Guan said he needed it to be underwater. Guan said it hurt. Guan pointed his finger and said he just needed to learn patience. Khan became curious and asked why he needed it. But Guan didn't answer him and said it was necessary. Khan decided to give it a try and swam to the waterfall. Then shouted to his teacher that he was there. Guan asked him what he was doing. Let him go under the water. Kang was a very bright boy and thought that teacher didn't just make this up. He really hoped so. Kang sat down under the waterfall and began to meditate. Guan told him to perform from there the breathing technique he had taught him. Kang was indignant and asked why would he do that here. Guan said he would know when he did. Kang began to use the technique and remembered a conversation with his teacher as he told him what it was all for. Kang felt that he seemed to be getting the hang of it. Only the feeling of pain was getting in the way a little, and if he keeps it up, he'll get used to it and learn. Guan said the guy has something like millet under his navel. Let him think he has it, even if he doesn't. Let him think he's creating it with his breath. Understand, Kang? Kang repeated the teacher's words and said that he just needed to create air. To imagine that he had millet inside him, Guan stuck his feet in the water and wondered, had he done everything right? That he was training him this way, and then he stood up and said it wasn't so stupid. The general said that if you work hard at this method of breathing, you can even see your great-grandchildren. While serving in the military for decades, he never had a general like him. Come to think of it, shouldn't you be doing something like that at this age? Although he never managed to create millet inside him, Guan went to rest again and said that he wasn't sure if Kang could handle it. The next day, Kang went to school and saw Day, who was very angry and thought it was because of that money. Guan said that he wouldn't be able to return the money. And then Guan was surprised and did not expect such a turn of events. Day said that yesterday his mother suddenly developed a fever and had to call a doctor. Kang said that he understood everything. Thanks to that, there is now even more value for his money. Day asked that Kwon feels good about his classmate's mother being in critical condition. Kwon said that's not what he meant. That's the reason why he's learning from him. Day said he's starting to understand him. Kwon said he didn't need to give him the money anyway. Let Day think of it as his tuition. Day immediately held out his hand to Khan. The boy didn't understand at first, and thought, "What is this?" Day said it seems like it will take a little time for them to understand each other. But he would definitely return the money. Khan shook his hand and told him that after he understood him, he would take his money. And with a huge interest, heading to Day's house, Kang grabbed Junior some goodies. Day thanked the boy and said they'd like it. Khan says he can buy it with money. He refuses the money. Is he being thanked for it? Day said they're different things. Kang said that according to him, it's the same thing. Day said it means favor and money just means sympathy. Kang asked what's the difference? Day said that if the guy doesn't know that either, he has a lot more to learn. Kang said he would try to learn. They walked for a long time and Kang thought about dialogue, and what should they talk about? Kang asked how his mother was doing. Day said the healer said the problem was a lack of energy. Thanks to the money he gave him, he got some good medicinal herbs, so now his mom will be fine. Kang said he has ginseng at home, he'll bring him the root. They say it helps to restore energy. Day said he knows it's very expensive. Kang said his friend's mom is sick and he's worried about her too. That's not sympathy, right? Kang said that besides, friends are supposed to help in times of trouble. And they are friends. Day said it right. Lee Kang, the son of a rich family, is his friend. Head Lee decided to visit the kindergarten, and here the teacher met him, and was glad that he came. Lee said he had a lot of work, couldn't make it in early. Is there any problem? The girl replied that there isn't. Everything is fine with both the worker and the children. Lee said that if something was missing, let her feel free to talk to the commander-in-chief. The caretaker replied that she understood. The educator bowed to Head Lee and said that the guests were already waiting for him. Head Lee came to the meeting and began to negotiate. Lee read one of the documents and said it's not easy. The old man said it is not easy, but the counting is going steadily, and it's proof that there are plenty of people to kill. The position will become more and more comfortable. Lee said he thinks they should like it just because the power of the organization is growing. The bigger it gets, the more tears someone sheds. The man apologized and said he didn't mean it. Lee says that means they shouldn't do it, so let everyone forget about it. And it's time to move on to the next point. At that time, Ken came to the place where Gwon was training the boy. The teacher said that he thought the steps were not like that. The order of inhalation and exhalation is wrong. Kang asked why he needed to walk. He can't breathe on his own. What kind of training is this? Gwon told the boy to do as he was told. You have to walk the right way. There are even rules about how to sleep, how to run, and even how to go to the toilet. Gwon got angry and told Konu to take action. Now the most important thing is correct posture, and we need to achieve good teamwork. Kang said it's better to just run up the mountain alone. That's not even how you train a mongrel dog. Gwon asked Khan, did he think learning Fireball was so easy? Kang replied that he was going to achieve it anyway. Gwon asked the guy after he had been rude to his master. Immediately, Kang sighed and continued practicing. Gwon saw that he didn't have to think about what to teach for at least a year. The next day, Kang and all the boys came to school. Kang sat down at his desk and saw that Day wasn't talking. Khan took a long look at him and saw that concentration is amazing. He's good at it. And then Khan tapped on his desk. That's when Day came to his senses and asked Kang when he got here. Kang told the guy to guess who the bookworm was. Didn't the book get taken away? Day said he wasn't the son of a rich family like him. Kang told him to stop talking about it. He didn't think it would be so hard to find a friend. If he had known, he wouldn't have even started such an acquaintance. Day said that's why they say friends are hard to make. Kang said that friends are friends. What are true friends? That's hard to answer. Day said it means it's very hard. Just then someone shouted that the master was going to class. Kang said they would go to the market together after they finished their lessons. Day told Kang on the way home that he didn't need to do that every time he came over. Kang pretended to agree with him, and then Day stopped halfway through. Kang told him to let him live normally too, Like he said, he's a kid in a rich family, so a few potatoes aren't enough for him. He'll eat them himself, so don't worry. Kang immediately stopped and asked, if he says it like that, it's annoying, right? Day smiled and said that anything is possible. Kang said he's embarrassed to eat at their place every time, so he buys something every time. And then Day started laughing and said that Kang is doing great. He is a very fast learner. Kang said that if you think about it well, he's doing fine. Kang walking down the path didn't understand what this feeling was. He felt really good right now. Is he really in a good mood? Kang thought about it and decided, why think about it? The important thing was that he felt good. And then the slaughterer came out on the path toward them and told them to come over to him. Kang asked Day if he knew him. The guy replied that it was their neighborhood bully. Kang was surprised that the guy knew such words. Day tells Kang that they just need to go. He's a really bad guy. Bully didn't expect that and was just surprised. The bully stopped them once more and told them to look at those cheeky bastards. If they were approached by adults, they should answer right away. Khan asked Bully, does he know it? And then Bully saw the bag of money and said he knows it. He just needs to know what's important to him. Kang said importantly, because this guy will regret it later. And then Bully started laughing loudly at his words. Bully said that just by looking at this guy, you realized that this is a kid who knows nothing about the world around him. The bully asked the guy, isn't he afraid of him? Kang asked if he had to. And then the bully came at him and asked him, does he want to die? Kang didn't feel sorry for him and immediately attacked him with his leg. The bully didn't expect such a turn of events. The bully got angry and said he would kill him. And then Kang started to run away and thought, how will he catch him at this speed? Khan realized that being forced to train helped him. And yelled to the bully that he was very slow. Running away, Kang told Bully that he needed to try harder. Just then, Bully turned around sharply and hit Day in the head. Day hadn't expected this turn of events and immediately cried out in pain. Kang's mind was filled with nothing but hatred for this bully. The bully didn't feel sorry for the guy and started beating him up. Khan saw this and decided to give him the money and threw it right at him. Khan told him to pick up and get out. The bully said the guy should have done it sooner. If he had, he wouldn't have hit him. Bully walked up to Day and said that's why it's good to have friends. He was very lucky to have that. Kang lifted Day up and asked if he was okay. Day through the pain said he was fine. But the feed bag was scattered. Day asked Kana what to do with the money. Was there a lot of it? Kang said it's not the money that's important right now. He got beaten up and he lost it to him. Day said the bully knows his family's circumstances and he never touched him, so he thought he came after him. He would be careful next time. Kang asked the guy, is he sure he's okay? Day said he's not fine, but after all, he's used to it. Let him not worry about him. Day told Kang that it was time for them to go. And then the guy said he's going home. Day asked him why that. Kang gave Day the chickens and told him to give it to the kids. Kang, walking away, realized that he wouldn't have lost alone. Because of this guy, he lost. He wouldn't let it go. At this time, the teacher was saying that the appetizers in this establishment were excellent and the alcohol was also exquisite. When was the last time he had enjoyed such luxury? Just then Kang ran in and shouted to his master. Guan asked him what was wrong. Wasn't he supposed to come late today? Kang told the master to teach him martial arts. Guan asked the guy, isn't that what he does? Kang asked the teacher what he was teaching him. He makes him breathe properly every day, write letters, and run every day. He talks about real martial arts. Guan asked, why is he doing this all of a sudden? Kang said he wanted to learn it. He's not interested in the rest. Guan realized that he couldn't control his feelings, and he couldn't teach the skill. Especially for this guy. Guan saw that even if he taught him, it would take some time. So he told Khan that he understood him. So the guy started practicing in the evening, and Guan showed him how to do things. He asked Kana, should I show him again? Guan asked the guy, what is that? Guan asked the guy, does he see him cutting? Kang said even kids can do that. Guan said that anyone can do it, but few do it correctly. Guan replied that it was a surprisingly hard martial art. Guan told the boy to give it a try. Kang picked up the sword and made ask the teacher, did he see it? He is doing it for the first time and he is already good at it. Guan asked him, did he think so? Go ahead and try it again. Kang asked, what difference does it even make? Guan looked again and said the guy was doing it wrong. Kang asked, why? It's exactly the same. Guan asked the guy, why is he so stupid? Let him give the sword here, it will show him properly once more. Guan drew his sword and told Khan to watch carefully as he did so. Kang thought, what's the difference? Is he doing this because he doesn't know what to learn from martial arts? And then Guan demonstrated again, and Kang was surprised. The teacher asked him if he had seen it. Kang said he had seen it. But it doesn't look like it's hard to do. Guan told the boy to give it a try. Kang picked up the sword and realized that he wished as well, but their strokes were different. It seems obvious after all, so what's the big deal? Immediately, Kang threw a few punches at the wood. Guan asked if he was doing it well. Understanding from the outside and doing it yourself are different things. Guan watched the boy labor and saw that he had succeeded. And it took him a long time to make his strokes accurate. Guan thought, how did the guy do that? And then he told him to stop. He's overdoing it. Kang said that the teacher said so himself, that you have to learn how to do it right. And then Guan hugged him, for he couldn't stop. Kang asked the master what was the matter. Guan looked at his hands and saw that they were all covered in blood. There is no living mark on them. What to do now? He can't even move his hand. Kang said he's not in pain. Guan said he doesn't feel it because he's horny right now. Let him wait for a while. Tomorrow he will be shocked by this pain. Kang was surprised that these words were being spoken to him by the master. Guan had told him that his hands were all peeled off, and what were they to do now? Kang said he'd be fine soon. Guan asked the guy what he was doing. Since when did he stop listening to him? Kang told the teacher everything and said he had to get revenge on that idiot. Guan asked who he would take revenge on. Kang said he needed to get revenge on that idiot. Ruined his pride and hurt his only friend. Guan asked, what in the world is wrong with this world if a young man can want revenge on someone so badly? There are such and such things in life. Kang stood his ground and said he had to do it. That's why he trains, even through the pain. Guan saw and realized that telling him not to be so reckless was the same as talking peas against a wall. Guan told Khan not to say anything stupid about him learning martial arts to protect himself. He, for example, had to learn them just so he wouldn't die. But he doesn't have to live like that. Guan realized that when it came to revenge, Kang wouldn't stop with just a few blows. He's not going to kill him, is he? Guan told Kang if he wanted revenge, it had to be done well. Wouldn't it be a shame if he made a mistake somewhere and got beaten? Kang said that's right. That's why he asked his teacher to teach him real martial arts. Guan said the kid is good. And then they'll do it this way. Have him put a hole in the tree. Kang was surprised at such a task. Guan said when he could pierce that tree with a wooden sword, he could take revenge on him. And until then, don't come to him. Guan looked at Khan and saw that he was very persistent. He wants to train no matter what. Even if he hits for days, he won't be able to punch a hole in the wood. I wonder when he will reach his limit and stop trying, and then you have to get his attention back. He doesn't have any strategy, he just keeps hitting over and over, and then he saw that these clothes were too big for him. We'll have to make some workout clothes. Guan told Khan that he was probably tired of hitting wood. Wouldn't it be better for them to move on to something else? Kang asked that the teacher wanted him to try to create millet again. Guan said it was very important. Kang asked what could be important about how to breathe properly under a waterfall. Guan said that because the basis of inner strength. Once he succeeded, he would definitely come to him and also say thank you very much, master. Kang asked, does he really need to do this? Guan said sure. He heard if he practiced for 3 years, he would do well. Kang asked, was that what he heard? Guan scratched the back of his head and said he was wrong. If he practiced, it would work out. Kang agreed and went up the mountain to practice. He thought, how should he create this millet? Immediately, he repeated these words and moved into his subconscious mind. Kang thought, is it really showing? Immediately his navel began to glow. He hadn't expected that. Kang already realized that this meant he had to bring it up to his solar plexus. First, he would have to catch it, and then move it. He needs to learn how to run it properly. And from that point on, he's got to take it up a notch. And then the master came up to Khan and addressed Khan. He asked the boy if he had really succeeded in creating it. Kang asked, "How's that? How long has he been here?" Guan said that he hadn't moved in all that time. So, he tried to wake him up. Did he succeed? Kang said he didn't know. But it feels kind of wrong. Guan said the guy did it. Guan now realized that everything the general had told him was true. Really, before this, no one could have done it. He even enjoyed just watching it. Kang told the master that it was strange. Guan asked him what's wrong. Kang said that he was definitely warm inside, but he felt cold. Guan hugged him and told him that he would help him now. The mountain clothes is very cold indeed. Kang smiled and told the master that he seemed to have handled the millet. What should he do next? And then the next day, Guan looked out the window and couldn't believe that Kang had actually made it. He had tried so hard, but it didn't work. But that wasn't the problem right now. He's come up with a long-term assignment. But he's already done it, and here he thought his assignment should work. Though he wasn't sure it would. Still, would it be convincing enough that he had only tried it once? Just then, Guan told the kid the assignment. Kang asked the teacher, would he have to jump him every day? And then Guan said that was right. Kang asked, surprised, what was the point? Did Guan tell the guy that he was even giving him something meaningless? Kang looked at this bush and asked, you mean every day is necessary? Guan said yes. Is he deaf? Kang asked the master, why do it? Guan decided to tell the story that there was once an assassin. And on the way he met a cow that was tied on a rope. The mercenary approached him and told him that he would be his training partner from today. Every single day mercenary jumped over it until he saw the cow grow up. Kang asked him that if he jumped over it every day, would he be able to jump over a tree someday? Guan asked him, is it hard for him? Guan said he had to try it first. Any other questions? Guan asked the master how fast this tree grows. Guan said, it doesn't matter how fast it grows. Kang was surprised and asked rudely, then what is important here? Guan said that it was important for Kang to follow his words unconditionally. Because he didn't believe him about the millet either. And then Khan walked up to his pets and told them to come over to him. They immediately ignored him and continued eating. Khan shouted to them to come to him. Immediately they came to him. Kang asked, did he overfeed them? That they can't even walk fast enough. And then all the squirrels came up to him and started fondling him. Khan didn't like it, and he immediately threw her off his shoulder. The rooster saw the squirrel fly to the ground and immediately caught it. Khan asked what kind of trick was that? Kang thought it was pissing him off. He patted the ground with his hand and told the animals to come over to him. Khan decided that he would not be cruel to them and decided to fondle them. The squirrel and the rooster were happy about this and enjoyed the moment. Kang asked the teacher why he had brought him here. He can drink tea at home. Guan said that was right, but here he could watch the people. Kang asked, why? Is there something to watch? And then Kang saw the woman talking and offered the teacher something to eat. Guan refused and told Kang to watch people. Kang said that a Juma and a Jussi are there, so what's next? Guan asked him again, what does he see? Kang said that a Juma is diligently preparing the food. And a Jussi is waiting for it to cook. Guan said right. Then what are these people thinking about? Kang said that a Juma is thinking about cooking and a Jushi is thinking about how he will eat the food. Guan asked the boy to elaborate more. Kang didn't understand what else to tell and asked, what else? Guan once again told him to take a closer look and have him tell him their real thoughts. Kang asked, how would he know about them? Guan asked Kang why he thought they were both nice to each other. Kang said it's the same as a seller and a buyer. Do you need something else? Guan said to Kang, why does he think they are smiling? Kang said because everything is good. Guan said that in the guy's opinion, if a person smiles, it means everything is fine. Kang bowed his head and said that was correct. Guan said, what if they had such upset faces? What would happen if they walked around with sour faces? He didn't think of that. Yes, it's a seller and a buyer, and they would be nice to each other. But what would Kang think if they were upset? Guan said then it turns out to be the other way around. They can smile but not like each other, right? The owner may not want to sell because she has health problems. Or it could be that the buyer has no money, so he can't afford anything but this food. Kang said, "Are they still smiling?" Guan asked. "Why should they cry?" The hostess can't miss out on a customer, and for a customer, it's a place where they can buy food. Guan realized something the guy sees on the outside is just a mask. He has to learn to feel what's inside. Kang sipped his tea and said that he was a SRN after all. Guan interrupted him and said he was special. Guan tells Khan that it's a long way off. For now, he only realizes people's relationships. They should learn to see their feelings first. Guan asked him, he had talked to that boy, hadn't he? Kang said the kid told him he looked like him. Guan said no, he's not like him. Because of the face he sees now, Guan said what he wanted to say was that his real feelings were now reflected on his face. And he always had a stone face, whether he was sad, happy, or angry, but he's different. Have Kang look at his teacher. On his face, his emotions are reflected as they are. Have him practice reading his emotions as if he were reading a book. Of course, there is more to learn than that. What one has inside and what one has outside can be different. Because of this, emotions can be faked, but first they'd have to learn how to read them. Khan didn't understand how he could learn to do that at all. At that time, Sister Day was cooking a meal at her home. She was so happy to see that she had succeeded. Day stood outside with the rest of the younger ones and entertained them. Kang didn't understand how he was putting up with all this. Kang remembered his teacher's words that things that people normally think of as natural, they learn by looking at their friends. Kang thought, why is it so difficult? The teacher said that the same expression is different in children, young people, and old people. Just then, Day turned to Kang. The guy asked what was wrong. Day asked him why he was so distracted. Kang told Day that he wanted to ask him something. He immediately began to tell him. Day said that of course it could intimidate him. Kang said his teacher told him that when he gets used to it, he'll understand, but so far it's tight. He said you have to look at the facial expression and that it depends on the situation. Day said that it was not only him who had this problem. Day said there are a lot of people who don't have a clue. Kang asked how many? Day said that if you sincerely understand his worries, yes. Kang asked him what to do. Day said did Kang remember the day he first came to his house? Kang said he doesn't recall anything like that, though his memory is better than his. Day said he meant whether he remembers similar things that happened that day. Day said to then try to remember one moment from that day. Kang asked, which one? Day said that Kang then told him that he shouldn't share food with his juniors. Kang replied that Day then said that although his words were logical, it was better to feed them. Day said that things are exactly the same now as they were then. The same fact is perceived differently depending on what situation and position they are in. Kang said he's learning it from him now. Day said right. And they next need to talk about the different facial expressions. About the day he brought the food, Day said it was a day for which he was certainly grateful. His juniors were happy too, but what about his? Kang said he was angry then. Day said it was like that. He was angry, but in his heart he felt grateful to him. Kang said then the guy was both angry and grateful at the same time. Day replied that although a person's state of mind is shown on the face, there may also be circumstances in which it is not expressed. He thought that was what his teacher wanted to convey to him. Kang said he understood what Day was talking about. But it's hard. Day said that's why they call him special. Khan got excited and said he was special. Here it was time for training and Kang came to the tree he was jumping through. Kang immediately gathered his strength and jumped over that tree at a run. Kang said that he thought he would not be able to jump it next year. Cheng was very excited about his new classes, and immediately he ran to his studies in the morning, where he met his friend. A lot of time passed, he kept repeating the same thing every single day. And then winter came. Kang decided to practice over a tree. Kang's body was not cold, for his inner strength was so great that steam was emanating from his body. Kang immediately used his sword, and did a good job on his body, soon making a hole in the wood. Guan decided to visit the library, and immediately upon arriving there he found some books he needed. Guan looked at the book he found and saw that these guys had too much text in their books. The girl who passed next to Guan wondered what he was doing there and was so curious. The girl made up her mind and asked Guan, is he looking for something specific? Guan said that was right. Maybe they have a book on martial arts? The girl said that if it was about martial arts, was it? Guan said it would be good to have a lot of pictures in it. The girl said of course there were. She immediately went to the library where the rest of the books were. The girl found a book and opened it and saw that there were some martial arts that the man wanted. The girl, though she was going to let it go to waste, but today this book would bring him some pocket money. Kang came to practice again, and Guan didn't leave him alone. So Kang immediately went to the tree and jumped over it. Kang believed in himself and immediately jumped over the tree. Guan didn't expect this and couldn't believe it. Kang came down to the ground and asked the teacher how he did the jump. He did it, didn't he? Guan said he could do anything. Kang said it's easier said than done. Guan said that, so he's the one who taught him wrong? That's nonsense. It's not like he told him to only do what he's told. Kang said that's right. They said if you step on your right foot, before you fall push through the left foot. And again before you fall push the right foot in. Kang told the teacher that it was as if he was walking on a flat tree. Right? And then Guan answered nothing, and choked up. Kang smiled and said that they had passed. Guan thought that despite being his disciple, he was talking like a crazy person. If there's a point, get over it without interfering. Guan thought, how about using the force? So the day came for training again, and Guan watched the boy, and then in a moment, Kang used a technique and saw that air came out of his hands. Guan was surprised and couldn't believe it. Kang asked the teacher, isn't that a fireball? Did he really make it? The boy rejoiced at that. Guan realized that also Kang was smart. This boy remembers how many times he peed in bed when he was an infant, so this stubborn ex-employee took him along as his best student. This guy may have really come down from heaven. He didn't screw it up for nothing, did he? No, he's here too, trying to teach him a few things. Humanity first and foremost. And then the girl came in and handed the book to Guan. She said this is the book that has the most pictures in it. It also has some text in it. If you ever need help, please contact her. Guan asked, didn't he? And then Kang started showing off his skills to the girls. They shouted that Kang was the best. Kang said that they all have fragile physiques. From now on, you'll do what Shijin shows you. And then Kang told Day that he should too. Day, reading the book, said he would try his best. Kang told him, does he know what he needs? Kang said that you can't just think and not practice. Who told him that? Day agreed and offered to practice together. He has negative memories, right? Kang said he had a lot of them. By the way, has Day been thinking about them? Day said he's had enough of those thoughts lately. Khan said he is only thinking about what will be good for the younger ones. There are many adults who want to support him, and also among them, their father. Day thanked the boy for his sincerity. Tell the adults his thanks, too. On this day at night something indescribable was going on in the city. People were out drinking and dancing. In the taverns all the people drank and gambled. They closed their eyes out of shame, but they kept on gambling. On the way to the tavern, the man said this is no place for little girls like that. Let them get out of here. And immediately Khan grabbed his arm and flipped him over. Khan looked at the man and asked him who he was so boldly reaching out to. The man could not answer him, for he was frightened at his mere glance. The man got down on one knee in front of Khan and was very angry with him. He swung his arm and tried to hit him, and then the man tried to say something to him, but couldn't connect his speech. Obviously, there's something about him. The man realized that if word got out that some brat had scared him, it would be the end of his life. And then the man didn't expect someone from behind to punch him. And this guy said who the man was looking at so brazenly. The guy asked Kang, how did he end up here? Kang asked Mr. Nam, does he work here? He said he doesn't personally run this place, but what brings him here? This is not the place for a gentleman to come. Kang said he had something to do. Nam said that if the owner found out, he'd be in big trouble. Kang asked him what he just said. Don't be so hot. By the way, if he worked here, he'd be good at it. Kang said he was looking for one person. Nam asked in surprise, who? And then Kang hesitated to tell him his name. On his way to school, Day saw the crowd that had gathered since morning. He immediately looked and saw a local bully who had been killed and laid on a cross. Day wondered if he hadn't talked about cause and effect. He knew he'd run into that. When Day came to the classroom, he saw that Kang was already at his desk, reading a book. Day asked him, "Is something wrong?" He seemed to be in a good mood. Khan said that considering he's gotten through some things, he's in a pretty good mood. Headley also found out about it and asked his warrior if this guy was dead. The warrior said no, but after that he wouldn't be able to walk on one leg, but he would be able to move. Lee asked the warrior if he knew why Kang was obsessed with this bandit. The warrior said that it was because the man had beaten up a friend of the Lord. Master was furious at the time. Lee asked surprised, "Furious?" The warrior said it was to condemn the guilty party. If Teacher Guan had calmed him down, Lee asked, "Is that why he pays so much attention to martial arts?" The warrior said that the man told him not to get involved. The warrior said he would be more careful about it from now on. Lee said no, let him keep it up. He realized that if they meddled in this unnecessarily, they wouldn't achieve much. So Lee told the warrior not to let him come here anymore. And let him give him sustenance. Lee thought his son was angry and didn't kill? That's how, you mean you can control it? Maybe it's not just words. Guan conducting the training thought that if even Kang is a fast learner, that's how it should be. If that's the case, is it possible to gain more time? Guan saw the praise bursting out on its own. He can't say that he's not good at it. Even if he says he is no longer needed, how will he learn to be perfect? Guan thought he had been living happily for 3 years. Then Lee came and asked his teacher why he was sighing so heavily. Guan asked his host, "What brings him here?" Lee asked, "Is he still awake?" Guan said he wasn't feeling well. Lee asked Guan what he was drawing. Guan said that he was the one who wanted to draw allures, but he didn't really know how, so he was worried. Allures asked Lee. Guan said correctly. When he was in the army, he happened to hear about movements that were based on changes in disposition. He thought it was too complicated to base it on. Lee said it seems to be based on the bagua. Right? Guan said right and asked the master, does he know something about disposition too? Lee said he had been a merchant all his life, so he didn't know such things. But once at an altar in a Buddhist temple, he was helping a fortune teller. He listened a lot and memorized some points. Lee asked Guan if he was the one teaching Konu. Guan said that this kid is not such a quick learner, and he wants to teach him more interesting things. Lee told Guan that his son was giving him a lot of trouble. Everyone is very grateful to him. Guan said that it wasn't like that at all. As he said, he was grateful for their concern. Lee said that he felt like Kang had changed a lot lately. It's all thanks to the teacher. Guan thanked him for thinking that way. Lee said that Kang has been going to the market a lot lately. What is he doing there? Guan said that he wanted to teach Kana to understand the expressions on people's faces. Expressions asked Lee. Guan said that's right, facial expressions. Kang must learn to understand people's feelings from their faces. Lee said, facial expressions must be giving them a lot of trouble. Guan said the kid is pretty smart, so it's no big deal. Did Lee really ask? Guan told Lee that he knew his son. He will become as outstanding as his father, and then Lee didn't show his emotions for a long time, and finally smiled. He asked the teacher, was he sure about this? Guan smiled and said that he would become an outstanding person. He wants that for himself. Lee said then, thank goodness. Lee said he doesn't know much either, but he doesn't think it will fit. When it comes to disposition, Guan said that he felt like nothing could be clearer. I apologize for taking up the master's time. Lee said that it wasn't difficult. Lee bowed and said that he now had to go. Immediately, Guan bowed in return, and said goodbye to his master. Guan saw that Lee had left and thought about the drawings and saw that this man was not as simple as he seemed. The next morning, Kang and Guan were at practice. And the boy thought it would be good for him to practice some more. He's got a lot more to practice. He's learned most of the lessons, they're almost easy. Guan asked the teacher, does he have to learn all this stuff again? Guan asked him, why again? He sang to him here that he has nothing more to learn. Guan said even if there was only one person here right now, wouldn't it be better to observe more? Kang said they're all the same. Guan asked Kang, what does he think is deaf here? It's common for most people to hide their intentions. But facial expressions are impossible to hide, Kang said correctly. At this very second, emotion is expressed on his face. Guan said that thousands of commanders die on the battlefield. How was he able to survive here? It would be possible, knowing all of this. Kang said that master knows, doesn't he? Guan told Kang if he works hard and learns acting. Let him practice expressing his emotions with facial expressions. So to speak with Baek Day One, Kang said he understood. But what he meant was that all the faces he sees are the same. Kang could see that he seemed to be getting better at it. But it was still too complicated. He was sure it would get better if he dug into it a little more. Kang immediately gained his speed and jumped high up, and with a movement of his feet, he jumped over that tree. Kang asked the teacher, "Isn't there a less painful way?" "Does he have to explain everything to him in such detail?" Guan asked. "He should figure out how to get down on his own." "At least roughly." Kang asked the teacher, "Does he know himself?" Guan said that if he kept telling him what to do, he wouldn't make progress. If he follows someone all the time, he will find himself in a position where he can't do anything on his own. Kang said his teacher didn't teach him anything. When he lifts on his left foot, put your right foot up so you don't fall. Anyone can say that. Guan called Khan a Jural and said that a bad head can't rest on its hands. That's just like him. Kang said only the teacher says he's stupid. Here are the others who think he's a genius. Guan said what he means is that he doesn't do very easy things and agonizes over it. All the skills he uses when he stands up, he can apply when he falls down as well. Kang asked, "How's that?" Guan said that when the guy tries to get up, he has the exact same face. Kang said he thinks he'll have to cheat this time too. Just then Khan picked up speed and jumped over the tree. Falling down, he thought, now should he use that too? Kang immediately used his wind abilities and cushioned his fall. Guan stood there looking at the guy with his mouth open. He didn't understand how this happened, and then Khan realized that he could use the skills with which he was rising. And immediately, Kang used what he had in mind. Guan looked at it and saw that this guy was crazy. This is for real. Immediately, he lowered himself in front of the teacher. Kang asked the teacher if he had seen it. Guan, smiling, said that he had seen everything. Couldn't even take his eyes off it. Kang said that master really was a genius. He really did make it. Guan thought, who else is a genius here? Is it even okay to say that? Guan wondered if the kid had abilities he didn't know about. He's good at everything he's taught. But if he teaches him anything, he really has exceptional abilities. In the evening, Guan came to his drawings and said he was hopeless. He thought for sure he had memorized everything. There seems to be something missing here. Guan said that he can ask the master to draw again. He doesn't know if he has other things to do besides that. Just then Khan came and asked what is it. Guan was frightened and told Khan to make signs that he had come. Kang said he heard that the teacher usually walks this way. The heel-to-toe step is more stable, and that's why they say that energy can be stored stably this way. Guan thought about it and asked the guy, is it really true? Kang looked around and asked what it was. Guan said it wasn't because of him. Kang asked, then what is the teacher worried about? Guan replied that he was studying allures. He realized that the basic principle is based on Bagua, but there are still exceptions. Kang said that, meaning teacher took Bagua as a basis? Guan confidently said that it was correct. Khan started to walk the lines and said it was a movement. He immediately went all the way around the circle on his feet. Kang told the teacher that if Bagua is the foundation, there is something missing here. The movement is interrupted in the middle and the balance is lost because of it. Guan asked him how did he even understand? Kang said they studied the Jing in school as well. But he, incomplete, it said, Taiji begets Taihikan, and Taihikan begets thought, and then thought generates Bagua. In the end it is energy that brings about change. And so it goes. Kang started jumping and told his teacher that now it was fascinating. It seems his teacher is a genius. He came up with the idea to use the pattern in this way. Guan said he's still learning. Kang seems to have the basics figured out and doesn't need to be told about them. Kang said no, it's just the basics. It will be better if he learns more interesting things. Teach him too when he's done with his training. Guan said that Kang can't follow him always. Kang said it can't be helped. He'll just suffer longer, and then Khan started to show that you can't step on it. If you step here, it could turn into a hexagram, right? It seems you can't make it too precise, you can complete it without knowing how. Guan watched from the side and thought, what is Kang even talking about? No matter how hard he tries, he still can't understand what he's talking about. Guan grabbed his head and left him to speak for his health. If Kang realized that he didn't understand, it could lead to a bad end. The next day, Teacher Zhong started to check the tests and immediately brought up Kana. The boy asked him what was wrong. Zhong said that this time he and Day shared the first place in the exam. It's usually Day who takes it. But Kang is performing excellently this year, Zhong thought. He's definitely not imagining it. He was so successful. But the other guys were really mad at Kang because he had become one of the nerds. Kang felt that this was definitely it. This was what he had worked so hard for. Kang was immediately happy to hear such words, and then Kang told Guan all about how great his day was today. Guan was convinced that the guy liked attention so much, and he also has hope. The greed that dictates he get more and more attention can overwhelm his cruelty. Guan asked the guy, was it that enjoyable? Kang said he had to see it, teacher. He was instantly respected by everyone. It's like something was coming up from here. He doesn't even know how to express the feeling. Guan said the guy liked it, it worked. Man said with a smile on his face that it was right. Guan said he's happy too, turns out his plate is deep too. Kang asked what does that mean? Guan replied that there is such a saying. Kang asked where do they say that? Guan told Kang that they better take care of the teacher who doesn't want to ruin his students' good mood. Kang asked what do you mean, take care? Guan saw that if he spoke frankly, the effect was diminishing. When he's nervous, it's unclear how, but he has to deal with the anxiety in his soul. And so for a long time, Guan said well, that's fine, that's all right. But shouldn't he continue his studies? Kang told the teacher to wait for a while. He will wash his face and come over. They sat down at the table and Kang said the teacher had a fake smile. Guan asked him, right? And Kang confidently said right, but he hesitated and after thinking about it said he didn't know. A smile like a smile. What else makes it different? Guan told Khan to look carefully. After all, he had been told. People don't show everything they have inside, so he has to guess it himself. It's not just the lips that move. The power is reflected in the eyes as well. Kang looked at it and said it was fake then. Guan said that when smiling sincerely, it is usually the upper part of the cheeks above the mouth that moves first. And then the lips follow. Kang said that everything looks the same. Guan said that a guy should focus his attention on more than just his cheeks and lips. The joy in his eyes is exactly the same. Guan told the guy to look at the whole face. Kang said that's why he couldn't tell the difference. Guan saw that the faster the guy got used to it, the better he would remember. Why was he so slow at it? Maybe he's got some kind of disease that prevents him from understanding people? No, there's no such thing. Many took less time. He's getting doubts about that. Guan told Khan to try one more time. If it doesn't work this time either, he'll think of another way. Guan started to cringe. And Kang said he felt like his lips were moving together. And the cheeks are partially moving. Guan praised the boy and said that he understood a little. But they need to practice their discernment separately. Kang told the teacher that he could see well. False. If he practiced a little, besides leaves, he could see ants. Guan said that having good vision and using the eyes correctly are different things. Vision is an innate sense of a human being. The problem is that there is a big misconception about what he sees and what is real. Khan asked, what's the misconception? Guan brought wood and started the fire. Kang asked the teacher what it was in his hands. Guan told him to wait for a while. After putting out the fire, Guan asked Kang if he could take the stone. Kang said how could he take it, it was hot. Guan asked him how he knew if it was hot or not if he hadn't touched it. Kang turned away and said because that stone was on fire. Guan said, meaning that if Kang didn't observe the process, he would have just picked up the stone, wouldn't he? Kang thought about it and said right, but suddenly said Guan, somehow the stone will cool down. But Kang won't believe him. Why not? Because he saw the stone lying in the fire. Guan took the stone in his hands and said that it was hot. But not to the point where it could not be taken. This is a delusion that he saw with his own eyes. Kang said that the teacher wanted to tell him that if he practiced, he could convince himself that he was that hot. Guan said, in some degree, as long as a person is alive, he can look until he touches the truth. Guan said, that's not all. Immediately he pretended to throw it right at Kana. Guan asked him what happened. Kang said the teacher wanted to hit him. Guan said he didn't hit him, did he? Kang said he didn't hit him, but he was going to. Guan said that although he swung, he didn't even have the thought of giving it to him. Let him not jump to conclusions. Kang said that's an illusion too. Guan said the guy misled himself again. Kang said, then how do you know if your opponent will hit him or not? Kang said he will know that. He will train continuously. Guan said that someday, he would learn to recognize it. Guan asked him if they would try it. Kang asked how. Guan told the guy to relax. He would be able to realize in time whether he was going to hit or just pretend, and could easily dodge the fist. Kang said it was interesting. Guan said to let the kid try it himself first. Immediately, Kang punched the teacher and hit the palm of his hand. Kang said he would try again. Guan got excited and agreed to try again. Immediately, Kang launched an attack and said that it really worked out now. Guan said that when he was a soldier, one could only survive through talent. Kang asked the teacher, what if he was hiding something from him? Guan said that's why he should train emotional intelligence, to learn to read not only natural emotions, but also fake emotions. Then he will understand all the emotions that are hiding inside with a single glance. Guan said that since he's gotten a little older, it doesn't work as well as it used to. It looks like he's imitating. Kang asked what he was imitating. Immediately, Guan demonstrated all his abilities, which made the boy surprised. Startled, Kang fell down and asked his teacher what it was. Guan said they would call it human energy. Guan told the boy not to be so afraid. Still, he had been wandering the battlefield for decades. Kang said he wasn't afraid of his teacher. Guan said that when a guy gets into a situation like this he always doubts. Kang said that when did he ever have doubts? Guan told the guy that the reason he's doing all this, is it worth it? And then Kang answered that it was. Before going to bed, Guan said he was full. That's what life is worth living for. Kang told the teacher that today was fun. Much more fun than practicing alone. Really asked Guan? Kang replied that it would be good if the next training they had together too. Guan said he understood and suggested that the guy study everything together. But they can't solve his internal problems together, even now, when it's cloudy. His joints ache. But he can't even get cold water. Kang replied that he would think about it. Guan thanked him for treating him better than he deserved. The next morning the rooster and the squirrel were having fun outside. They were having such a good time that they were even able to make friends. But then the squirrel saw someone, and immediately got into an attack position. Kang held the snake in his hands and immediately tore its head off. Every single day the boys practiced by the window. Guan asked Kang if he was watching. Kang watched and said he doesn't go into it. He practices more by ear. He can hear them. After all, the cloth seller over there says he will discount 20 coins, but the customer insists on a discount of 40 coins. Guan saw and realized that the dodger is still the dodger. He's telling him to listen to the sound separately. It's useful anyway, isn't it? And then Kang said to the teacher, something. Guan asked him what was wrong. Kang said he thought he was too special. Guan was surprised and wondered why he was suddenly bringing this up. What, does he want to do something personal again from what others are doing? Kang asked, could he really be a monster? Guan answered the guy that he's not a monster. He just has characteristics that others don't have. Besides, he has a teacher. If he really was a monster, he wouldn't be around him. Guan thought maybe this guy had something wrong. Guan made up his mind and asked the guy what was wrong with him. Did something happen? Guan said he thought he had misunderstood him, and suggested that we only tell each other the truth. Did the kids at school avoid him again? And then Kang replied that there was no such thing. Guan asked that the guy was being ignored by his old teacher again. Kang answered no. He's been hearing a lot of praise from him lately and he thinks he's proud of him in front of others. Not like Day, but still. And one of the people started giving him more pocket money and started asking him about everything. Guan said that Kang honors everything he promised him and lo and behold, he sees how much has changed. That's what he wanted, right? Kang replied that's right. But he feels strange sometimes. He definitely achieved everything he wanted to achieve. But now he doesn't want to loiter alone anymore. Guan petted Kang and said that he had a teacher. Did he know something his teacher didn't? Kang asked the teacher, did he know? Guan said of course he knew. He thinks even his teacher didn't know about it. All teachers know about it. Guan thought in his head, why is he so careless? It's been a long time since he relaxed this much. Guan asked the guy, did he feel better compared to before? Now he felt like he was flying in the sky and waving a stick. Kang said it's definitely better, but it's all so sudden. Guan says he has nothing to worry about. Everyone touches the teacher's palm. He's all set. Guan said it's about time he had a teacher like him by his side, as he would be special when he wanted to be. In the evening, Guan was thinking, what should he do? They had reached the limit because he was already used to using his body. Thank goodness he was starting to focus on himself. Guan saw that the problem is that it doesn't work the way it should. However, he should give it a try. The next day Guan brought the boy to the forest. Guan looked at the table in the forest and asked, what is this? Guan replied that they were destruction jars. Doesn't he want to feel better after he breaks a couple of pieces? Kang told the teacher that if he breaks them, his actions will be different from other people. Does he think he will stop thinking about it? Kang asked the teacher, did everyone do that? If you swing a stick, you could knock down a few trees. Guan asked, is he still not comfortable? And then Kang put the plate back down and said he was fine. Thanks to him, he understood how to behave so that people wouldn't think he was strange. Guan realized that he was being very careless. This kid is counting on him so much, and all he does is stuff his belly and drink. Guan told the guy not to admit it. For now, he can't think of anything better than what he has now. But he will definitely come up with one. So promise him one thing. Kang said for the teacher to speak. Kang said for him to go on. Didn't lie or hide anything from anyone. Kang said he was still doing it. Guan answered faithfully as he is still doing it now. Kang said he would never have gone back to that time before he met the teacher. Guan told him not to even think about it. He himself didn't expect something like this to happen, and then Kang threw a plate and said he knew. He would still find some way to find him, master. Guan called him a parasite and said that he would probably find him for sure. And then Guan remembered how he had been wounded, and wrapped his arm, and then one of the guys told Guan to tell him. And immediately he went over to him, and helped him tie up the wound. Guan asked the guy, is he smiling? The guy said he should be smiling. Is it better to cry? Guan told the guy that when he talks like that, he gets scared. He's not really having any fun at all, is he? The guy smiled and asked, is it that visible? Guan immediately said with confidence that it was visible. The guy said it was funny. Plus, the only person who can say that in front of him right now. Guan said there was one thing he was curious about. The guy asked what was it? Guan replied that there are really no things in the world to be afraid of. The guy said things to be afraid of. Well, if he felt that way, wouldn't he be completely different? And then Guan remembered the guy telling him that he could become completely different. If he didn't feel fear, he would become completely different. But what is this little guy afraid of? He seems afraid to show his face to the master, but he sure wants to get his attention. He's not having a hard time at school. Maybe he's afraid of him, and then Guan thought that he couldn't be afraid of him. What should he be afraid of? And then he thought of asking his master for help, but immediately he said no. Because it could backfire. There are things that the guy wants to hide from him, and if he talks to the host, he will reveal it, although he might not even believe it. He's the only link between these guys and his communication with the world. Guan realized that no matter what happened, he must not betray him. Then, we should try it first. It might work. In the evening, Guan thought that this night alone, was he tired a lot? Should he try to go up? He looked at the mountain and realized that he had just come down. He must do this. At this time, Kang was walking around the cemetery and immediately on the path he saw animals grazing in the forest. Kang thought that he wasn't doing gymnastics on a moonlit night. Then why is he here now? Kang sat down in the bushes and immediately closed his eyes and fell asleep. At this time, Guan was worried because the boy hadn't gotten to him yet. Guan kept thinking about Kanna's words as he asked, who was there to fear here? After all, there was nothing dangerous here. Or did the teacher see something? Guan kept telling himself that he shouldn't have to go through this. He's confident but misunderstands emotions. It shouldn't be like this. He saw that he wanted a visible, obvious result. Same with that guy. He didn't do it because he knew how it would end. He didn't need to do something like that. Of course he didn't. That's the only part that needs to be emphasized. Immediately, Guan ran outside. On the way, he met with butler Cheon. He asked Guan what he was doing here. Guan said that he had one important matter to attend to with Master. Can I meet with him right now? Cheon said it's no problem. He will let him know in advance, so he can come visit anytime. Guan decided to bring Kang to the farmer. And the boy asked the teacher what he was doing here. Guan said he wanted to see how to slaughter cattle properly. Kang asked the teacher, can he try it too? Guan asked him surprised, is he interested in it? Kang replied that that was why the teacher had brought him along. He understood everything. Guan suggested that he look at it first. After going through the whole process of slaughtering the score, they headed home. Guan asked the boy what he was thinking as he watched the bull being slaughtered. Kang replied that he wasn't thinking about anything. That's how meat is obtained, isn't it? He was pleasantly surprised by that gentleman's skill. He caught and butchered the bull in one breath. Guan told Khan to stop praising that man. Let him listen. Usually his peers pity the bull before praising the butcher's skill. Kang asked, when they eat meat themselves, do they feel sorry for it too? If you feel sorry for animals, the first thing to do is to give up meat. Guan said the boy was right. But that's not how normal kids think. Kang asked the teacher that he wanted the kid to think like others. Guan replied that he didn't want to. All people have different ways of thinking. He just wants Kang to remember what those people said before slaughtering the bull. Kang said live your next life better. Is that what the teacher means by that? Guan said right. And he should know better why these guys go through training before slaughtering a bull for the first time. Kang said he knows that to kill them without blinking an eye, you have to have a steadfast character. Guan said, however, people first imagine what is happening. Kang asked the teacher, did he mean imagine themselves in the place of the bull? Guan said that that was the case, they would like to die without suffering. Kang said it's even possible to imagine such a thing. Guan says it's almost. And he also wants him to explain why he kills the bull. Kang said they're going to eat him, aren't they? Guan said that's right, right in the bull's eye. The reason for killing the bull. Guan said that when he was in the army, he killed people. The reason for killing was survival. On the battlefield, there is only one rule, it's either him or him. That's why it's called a battlefield. And also at least even if he kills a mosquito, it's only because he's sucking its blood, not because he's sick of it. If there's a mosquito and a moth flying around, it doesn't kill just the mosquito, right? Because the moths bother him as much as the mosquitoes. Kang said that the teacher was pulling too hard. You need a reason to kill. And the reason they started this conversation was to make him realize that when he killed the hare and the chicken, he had no reason. Guan said that Kang understands him well. Kang said that he also has a reason why he is like that. Guan asked what is it? Kang said achieving something by his own efforts. To do something unimaginable at will. To feel as if he were God himself. Just then, Guan became agitated. Kang saw his face and asked what was wrong with him. Guan said they remembered about the mosquitoes and they were already here. They had to catch them. Guan said those thoughts no, he said that's his reason, right? Kang asked the teacher, he never thought like that. Guan said that he was out of his skin to survive in his time, so he had no reason to think anything. That's what his reason was. Kang asked, that's a weird reason, right? Guan took his hand and said, it's not strange, it's special. Guan told the guy to talk as they went along. And when he smells blood, he remembers the past and his mood turns sour, and then Guan realized that Kang had almost caught him. Even if no one understands, he shouldn't react to this boy with that expression on his face. Truly this is the moment he was dreading. Guan tells Khan that he understood his reason. But he thinks other people won't understand him. Kang said he knows. That's why he keeps his distance from others. Guan asked, even now? Kang said thanks to him, no. Guan said that it was the result of his efforts. He didn't give up to get what he wanted. Guan said the problem is choice, Kang. The choice? Kang asked. Guan replied that that was correct. Will he enjoy the gifts he has received when he becomes a ruler, or will he live and be content with little, as others want him to? That's the choice he's talking about, and when the time comes to feel it, to think about it. What he really desires. That's all he has to do. Kang said the teacher was right. But all the time. Guan said that standing until the end is hard. Someday, they will come back here again. In the meantime, still let him think about it. Guan told Kang to pick one thing. Either his reason for killing animals or his reason for killing ordinary people. Kang said he understood. He's still just as worried about him. Guan asked, is he sure he understood? Kang replied that he is a smart kid. Guan said that Kang is a very smart kid. Anyway, whatever he chooses, he can trust him. Kang said that old man he talked to sometimes. Had he killed people before too? Guan said he thought it was right. I guess. He must be smart, Kang said. Guan said he was very wise. To fulfill his wish, do you have to go to the battlefield? If one just kills a man, he will be punished. But if one kills him on the battlefield, he might be rewarded. Not necessarily so, but roughly. Kang said that he listened to the teacher and something seemed to clear up in his mind. Did Guan really ask? Kang replied that he understood everything. People used to call him a ruthless puppy, but, Master, Khan said this is a result of his actions, don't forget that. Khan replied that this is correct. The next morning, Kang woke up and immediately started practicing. He is practicing so hard to become much better, and then I tried a few of my moves and realized it wasn't working. So I decided to try again. Kang remembered, that's how his teacher had shown him. But something was bugging him. Just then he saw the book on the table. Khan opened it and said that there is almost no writing in this book except for words. Even the picture book has more words. The movements shown are not even related to each other. In principle, the book is not so useless if you have something to strive for. Just then the teacher came to him and told Khan that he was early today. When he saw the book he asked, "What is this?" Khan snatched the book from his hands and said it wasn't for him. Kang said he might as well not hide it anymore. Everything they have been teaching him lately is in this book. Guan said he was just reading it for reference. Kang said he didn't think he was reading it for complacency. Where did the teacher buy this textbook? Was he being cheated? Tricked? Asked Guan. Kang thinks his teacher is so stupid. Kang replied that it was impossible. But the movements there are unrelated. He knows that, doesn't he? Guan said that because it's just as a supplement. They'd better start practicing soon. He still has to go to school. Guan watched and was glad he had such a wonderful student. Already he was feeling the weight of his training, and then he looked at the book and thought, had he really been fooled? But Kang kept practicing and didn't pay attention to it. At this time in the elementary school, all the students came to study. While Kang stood outside and practiced, Kang practiced all the moves his teacher had taught him to do. The boys looked at him and didn't understand what he was doing. Kang thought and showed Day the book and told him to look at this. Day asked, "What is this?" Kang said for him to look first. Day asked, "Using the sword?" He's not good with it. Kang tells Day to help him figure something out. He's trying to follow a similar thing right now. Day asked, "What can I do to help?" Kang replied that 8 trigrams were shown that time, right? But is it possible to move by stepping on this circle? Kang said he tried it and he thinks he can do it, but the movement seems strained. The pose is unnatural. Day said he thought that after he put his feet right, the upper body should align as well. If Kang was firmly on his feet, even considering that the top is all wrong, he would still be able to catch his balance. Kang suggested that Day practice at his place today. Day asked, "Does he have so much free time?" Day told the boy that he should read books. So they went to Day's house and started practicing hard. Day motioned for him to stop. His legs are already shaking. He can't take it anymore. Kang said they've only done it 3 times. Kang said that if a guy wants to make this pose more natural, a couple of days won't be enough. He thinks they need to study I Ching better. Day said he has only studied it in theory. This is the first time he's trying to practice. Kang agreed and offered to stop. But until he succeeds, he will have to help him. Kang asked Day, is he confident in his knowledge? Day replied that he didn't know, and offered to do together. Kang said they will do guanxia together. How can it be that he studies all day long and can't even get guanxia? He's about to pass hanxia. Day said it happened. What about him? Is he studying? After all, the teacher expects him to take the next one. Kang said he saw no reason to take the last exam. Did he say something wrong again? Day said no, he's right. He has no other option but to make a career and become famous. He didn't know Kang. Kang said that if it were any other person in his shoes, would he be upset? Day said all people are different maybe. Kang asked why? Day said that even though they are all different, something of a shame, depends, a sense of inferiority because of it. Kang thought, and immediately realized how the boy was thinking. Just then, the girl shouted to her brothers that the food was ready. The younger brother told his brother that it was very good that they talked every day. Kang asked him why. Kang told the guy to tell his brother that. These were his words. Immediately, Day was really pissed off. Kang thought, why does he come here so often? Which has already become a habit. Every time he came, he didn't like the horrible dining table. He's stubborn, he can see he's eyeing a piece of meat. They say people should have a sense of proportion, and then he looked at Mi and saw that she weighed as much as he did. And the girl asked her brother, can he hear her? She said that they say there's a band of robbers in the area. They say Unhwa village was robbed. Day asked, isn't Yonghwa village 30 miles away? The girl said that's right. There are at least 10 brigands riding horses. The head of the village is now gathering people and calling them to go on duty. One person from their house should also go. And then Kang said it was all useless. They can't do anything on duty. They can't even apprehend the bandits. Besides, it takes about 1 hour to get from here to Quan. If they are talking about means of transportation, riding an ox and a donkey will obviously be slower than bandits riding horses. How many men are there? The girl said there were a lot of them. Kang said, has there ever been a time when an ordinary farmer could beat up such violent people? It's not like anyone wants to die. The girl asked, then what to do? Just tolerate the brigands' raids? Kang replied that it was better to raise money and hire warriors. If specially trained men, if something went wrong, the village head would have told them by now. But he could ask for mercenaries. But if he wanted to hire them, he would have to pay them 1 silversmith every 3 days. Kang said it wasn't that expensive considering his life was at stake. The girl asked, what is there to do? After all, their brother is always so busy. Day said he should go anyway. Kang said there's nothing to steal here, right? Let him just not do it. Day said it's not that simple. It's his village's problem, he has to help the people. Considering that the villagers have helped them many times, and then Kang was surprised that Day decided to switch places with them. Kang told Day to just pay then instead of going by himself, and then Day started to get indignant. Kang said he was telling the truth, right? Think about it. He's about to take the exam, and instead of studying, he'll be on duty at night. Day said that's his problem. Kang said he's really inferior to him in that regard, and he knows Day wants to repay people for their help. But when he becomes an official, he can repay them. Let the guy see for himself, what's best. To stand and shake on duty or to accept his help, pass the exam and repay people later. Let him think it over and answer. Day agreed and said he would accept his help this time. Kang said to start by letting him give him this. If there is not enough, he will bring more. Day said no and promised that he would definitely pay him back. Kang said that even if he didn't, I still had a lot of money, so don't let him worry. Kang went home and remembered Day telling him that it was getting late and the guy should go home sooner. And then Kang thought, who else is worried about who? And then Khan realized that he now had a chance to practice hiking. But then he saw that he was not alone in the forest. The bully said the guy was just a kid. The other guy said, what does it matter? Look at his clothes, he's pretty rich. The bully said it was a baby anyway. Are they such saints or something? Wouldn't it be better if they just did it? And then Khan realized they were talking about him now. They should either keep their voices down or grab him first before talking. Are they those bandits? And immediately on the way they stood in front of Khan. And the guy saw them and started laughing out loud. The bullies asked him why he was laughing. Isn't he afraid of them? Kang asked them who they were. The bullies asked the kid, is he alone? Are his parents in the neighborhood? Kang saw them chatting like kids who are coming from the market and forgot the way home. Kang said no, he is coming from a friend. His house is in the county. The bullies asked, didn't they? It turns out he lives in a rich family. Does he have any money on him? Kang said he didn't have any with him. But if they let him go, he would surely bring them tomorrow. The old man said the guy doesn't have one right now. What should they do? One of the boys cried and said they should let go. After all, his parents might start to worry. Did the old man really ask? He told Khan that they would let him go today. But tomorrow night he must bring him the money. Kang thought, what is this even? What kind of brigands do that? They didn't even have to start their activities. He's going to beat them up to practice everything he's learned. Kang said that if he couldn't bring the money tomorrow, what then? The old man said that if he didn't keep his promise, he would be in big trouble. Kang said that he could go then? The bullies broke apart and let him go, and then one of the ruffians stepped sharply in front of him and said that it was dark now, let him not stumble on the way. And then Kang thought, would they really be waiting for him here tomorrow? Does that even happen? The next morning, Kang had already started practicing and tried to reproduce his energy to a new level. After finishing the whole process, he opened his eyes and saw his father standing in front of him. Lee asked him what he was doing. Kang said he was learning the teacher's breathing technique that he was showing. Lee thought, how was the teacher teaching him if he didn't have similar skills himself? Isn't that used to strengthen the body in Taekwondo? Kang said he thought it was some kind of nonsense at first. But he kept practicing. Lee asked, so what's next? Kang replied that he seemed to be making progress. In the beginning, the teacher kept saying something about core chi, and then in Dantian he felt something the size of a grain, and now it was the size of a fist. Lee thought, doesn't this mean he's doing the right thing? There really is something about this old man. Lee asked his son if he could already release this energy to the outside. Kang told his father that he could do it. Let him watch carefully. Immediately, he demonstrated his abilities. Kang said that he can't do everything yet, but if there is wind, it blows from far away, right? Lee asked his son, what else has he learned? Lee could see that there was something wrong here. Although he had gotten news that he could handle an experienced warrior, but isn't he already above par? But that doesn't matter. It's good for him to know more, because then he can protect himself. The fact that he had already reached that level meant that he was practicing hard. Kang asked his father how he was doing. Lee said it's good that he's training his body, but he'd like to see more of his academic accomplishments. Kang said that he wouldn't neglect his studies. Immediately, Lee turned around and went to his room. Kang thought his father would praise him. He was at least interested in watching him. And he should prepare for Guangxia. The next day Kang came to the place where the robbers had stopped him and asked when they would come already. Kang realized that it would be nice if they didn't stall. And then Kang heard walking and realized that they had come, and then the old man told his men to look. For he told them the boy was coming. The old man pulled out a knife and told Khan to give them the money. Then Khan pulled out a sack of money and told them to take it. The old man opened the pouch and was surprised. He asked how much was in here. A few coins would be enough. What the hell? Where did he get this? Khan told them to take them. And now they have to keep their promise and let him go, right? The brigand started to say that they were only asked for 30 coins. And now they should do something about it. He had already brought enough. How could he ask for more? And then the old man couldn't help himself and started apologizing to Khan. He said they were robbing him to survive. True, but they should take him with them. In all their time as outlaws, no one brought in more money than him. Kang wondered how he should take this, and then they came to a village and Khan was surprised that they lived in such a place. The old man said that if these guys had a head on their shoulders, they wouldn't touch him, and when his father paid the ransom. And then Khan thought, why did he come here in the first place? They led him into a room and told him he'd be here. And here to eat some food. Kang thought there were also bedbugs crawling around in this room. Maybe he should just leave. Oh, well, okay. Sounds like fun. He's been kidnapped, and then Kang went out into the backyard and thought that if they had kidnapped him, they should have tied him up and guarded him. And that's what they told him, to just wait, and then Khan saw the little ones and told them to come to him. He took out some food and asked if they would eat. Kang thought that no matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like a place where thieves live at all. It's just the local poor people. Khan saw that the children were very hungry and asked them how long they had been hungry. All the children said that they had been without food for 2 days. Kang said that when he arrived, he thought the field was well taken care of. How come they have no food? The children said it's not like that. And it's all because of the blacks. The girl said that the sulphurs are the most famous bandits in the neighborhood. They're very ruthless. Even the local authorities can't do anything. This gang comes and takes away all their food. They even took away Huang's. Kang asked, "What is that all about?" The children said it was one that had been in their village. When they took him away, everyone in the village had a hard time. Even the adults were crying. Kang realized that in this village, this ball was the only source of food. Anyway, the children were very scared and only wished these people harm. Khan told them not to cry and asked where were all the elders. And then they all gathered around the fire in the evening and began to apologize. Khan was fed up with all of this and said that nothing would change from them apologizing. If they had made a firm decision, they should treat the hostage properly. Khan asked them what they had decided. The old man said that after they get the ransom for him, they will let him go. But they don't know how rich he is. Kang said he was living a pretty good life. Even they have no idea how. How much do they want for him? The old man said that the robbers demanded 30 silver coins. Kang asked that they needed so little money. Are they so afraid of these blacks? What kind of gang is this? The old man said that when it comes to mountain brigands, it's best to give in. They're not just bandits. They are a group of bandits who travel on horseback. They are very ruthless and cruel. If you don't give them as much as they want, they kill everyone. And that's when Kang remembered them, and now Kang realized that they were those brigands. He asked the old man how they planned to get the ransom. The old man said one of them would go to his house and demand a ransom. Kang asked that he would just go. Starkey asked, "Isn't that the way to do it?" Khan asked them, "Are they crazy? Do they think they're just going to get money? They're just gonna come in and say they kidnapped their kid and that's it." Kang said they'd have their heads blown off their shoulders in no time. They said they were afraid of the local feudal lords, so they came this far. If they were captured and found out they were tax evaders, they would all be killed. Kang said there would be no one left here who received money from his parents. If they did, they would have their heads cut off and give them to his father. The old man asked, "Then what should they do?" Kang said they don't need to report anything. They need to prepare and go in hard. They should act tough. Kang wondered what on earth he was saying. What's wrong with him? They're kidnappers, aren't they? There's no need to help them. And then Khan stopped and thought that this could work. If all went well, they would consider him their savior. Kang rejoiced and realized that these all people would respect him for the rest of his life.